Hello there, guys. Sorry about that. As you know, this phone drives me nuts. It's because my phone memory is full, and like all my apps are back onto download. I think I tried showing you last time and I couldn't show you. So if anybody knows, how to deal with this, so literally all my apps are back to having to download them, and I have no memory on my phone to download it. It's a I don't know what it is. What's my phone? I don't know what my phone is. It's a phone. It's a fucking phone. It rings and I answer it and I can get online with it and I can open Crackbook and use it. There's probably so much more I could do with this phone, and my life could probably be made so much easier if I could just get my head around websites and computer stuff. Like, seriously, I can't even do word spreads and shit like that. So please don't ever ask me to go and apply for a job as a PA or an assistant or anything like that, because I'm sorry, I'm struggling enough to get the infrastructures and foundations in my life, and I'm the sort of person who needs PA and all of the people that do all that stuff. And that's what I found sort of really cool about tonight, really. Well, more so this whole weekend. I haven't actually made it out as much as my Facebook says I have. So openly saying the events that it's tagged me in has been purely because I've been networking, and there were events that I should have attended, and I needed to be there at those particular times to do some stuff that I was doing, because obviously I'm meant to be working, but trying to be self-employed, working with somebody at the moment who can't crunch numbers. And that's another thing, I'm not a closer. So I this is where Dean is meant to be. This is how relationships work in a marriage. I'm the opener, he's the closer, and it's a bit difficult when obviously he's really difficult to work with at the moment. I'm difficult to work with because I go off on tangents, and obviously it's very personal. I'm very open about like how I'm feeling and what I'm dealing with, and how I'm overcoming. And actually it's quite a beautiful thing, because I've shown you a couple of pictures of the island that I sort of live on. So you sort of have to come over a bridge, and then you're in Portsea Island, Portsmouth, Southsea, and all of the different things of it. So our city is a city, but I live literally on the sea in the city. So for somebody like me who really struggles, like, I love Facebook because I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know what's being said. I'm talking to myself. I'm having a conversation with myself. This is my video diary. This is my log. This is what's on my mind. This is what I'm processing. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm trying to get out of my thoughts, because somebody like me spends so much time in their head. And I'm a speaker. It's what I do. And I should be spending quite a lot of my time speaking. A lot of my time should be spent speaking. I'm the sort of person that when I was growing up, everybody said, God, she's going to speak for Britain one day. That girl, she can talk for Britain. My word, that girl can talk for Britain. I've lived with that sentence around me all my life. God, Kelly Avis, she can certainly talk for Britain. And it's a common thing that everybody sort of said about me as a kid, as I was growing up, and through college and university and friends and stuff. They always say, you don't get a start if you can talk for Britain. And hopefully I'm going to get the opportunity to do that in this exit, Brexit, no Brexit. Is there going to be a deal? Is there not? Because even today this event has proved everything that I've been trying to say to everybody today, because I'm a natural feeding mother. I have 2 children, 1 and 3. Take away the whole situation of Aaron and Faith, take away Liam and Daniel, and just deal with me and Dean as a 2.4 family. So take away all of our previous lives, take away all of our struggles, take away all of our previous existence around anything other than it being Dean, me, and 2 children. So Dean is an artist, so that means he goes on tour a lot. It means I'm at home a lot. I have the children. So we have a choice. Dean travels and works. That means he could be living in bloody Dubai for 3 months, for all I know, a year, whatever, however long he wants to do it. You know, he keeps us here, living in a house while the children go to school, live in the education system, blah 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 blah. Or we travel with him. But the challenge is sometimes he'll do 2 weeks here, 5 weeks here, 3 months there. Some projects could be a year project. I don't know. I mean, once he goes in the studio, you know, the studio we were meant to be going to we're leaving here to go over to, well, we're meant to be going over to Eastbourne. On the 5th, we were going to leave on 15th because Dean was paid on the 15th, and then I'm paid on the 18th, and we were going to literally just go for a full swing fucking gamble. And we were just going to pay the 150. I've got a really good deal to literally just do a full-blown single. Obviously, they weren't necessarily realising what they were getting with Dean. They sort of probably thought, you know, but yeah, he could have probably put an album down in the time that they could do a single. So, you know, you're talking about when Dean was involved. Well, how are you not involved in the music industry? If you pick up a beat, you're in the music industry, you know. So, you know, he was dealing with reel to reel, you know, like literally when it was like getting your pen into your pencil into your CD and your tapes and putting tapes together and sticking tapes and putting it. There was none of this mixing on a DJ thing when Dean sort of started. It was literally, you know, you cut and you'd sit there taping and putting them together and putting them together and remixing them. And, you know, sometimes I love it. I love it when I interview Dean. I'm so fucking annoyed that he took his YouTube channel down, like, because we've done so many interviews and so many, like, things that he was talking about and talking about, you know, throwing himself down on as Michael Jackson, you know, can't really talk about Michael Jackson at the moment. What's the truth? Who knows? Dean, I think if it turns out to be true about Michael Jackson, I think it's going to be really, really, really difficult for Dean because he's built so much of his, like, being the kids at like 3 years old, sort of throwing it down and banging out of his bedroom because he was flipping off beds and, you know, spinning on his head and doing all of that. Because don't forget, when he was 17, he beat Crazy Legs. So it was just, no, 15, sorry. It was just that he had to be disqualified. And the only reason he was disqualified is because he didn't have any parents to sign his forms. And it meant that he couldn't go on tour, do you know what I mean? He had to have, and you know, obviously some parts of Dean's story I can talk about, some parts I can't talk about. Dean is slowly coming out about some things publicly. You know, you're talking about somebody who doesn't have photographs taken of him. If a paparazzi tried to take a photograph of Dean, especially if he's doing his graph work, mate, I mean, he will hunt you down if you try to ever, you know, sort of. I've got photographs of Dean doing his graph work, and obviously I'm in a lot of trouble for bits being shown in the house, and it causes a lot of arguments and stuff as well. So, like, when Dean comes home, like, straight away all the curtains get closed back down. If we were in a home, it would be different, but obviously there's thousands of people that walk past and see through our windows, and one of the pieces you can slightly see from the window. So, you know, he keeps it covered at all times, and it gets a bit difficult because I suppose it's difficult, isn't it, when two people come together, be it a friendship or a relationship or whatever. You've had this whole life that it's existed, and you've walked in this whole journey, and then people come together and either love relationship, you know, and then them two sort of, can I do it? Yeah. I've been doing a load of love today, so it's my spacky fingers. This is how you can see how spacky my little EDS fingers are, because I can't actually push my fingers together in the same way. I'm not actually even direct parallel. That's what's really funny about it all. I'm slightly unsymmetrical, slightly. But yeah, but this is how it's so difficult, because obviously I've been at the festival this weekend on and off, and it doesn't. Do you know what? Whether me and Dean freaking row, argue, hurt each other, talk shit to each other, whatever, separate for days, weeks, months, whatever. Like we're not two, three-dimensional people. This phone doesn't change this soul connection. In fact, I'm unblocked today, but being blocked on, and you would, if I literally go on texts, and I don't have necessarily, it was different. When I was married to Graham, it was different. I knew his workspace, I knew where he went to work, I knew who he worked with. When he got up in the morning at 7:30, he kissed me on the head and went out the door, you know, and then I gradually get up and, you know, get the kids ready for school and, you know, sort of got on with my day, and then he would come home, you know, and I could ring him at work if, like, I couldn't remember how to boil an egg, or you know, just something really serious, like, you know, I've just had a letter from school, we've got a meeting on so and so, can you just check with your boss whether or not you can do it, you know? And we didn't have sort of texts and all that sort of stuff, you know. Don't forget, you know, people who are just having relationships in this world, you know, there was a whole world that even business people, like, in fact, I had a conversation with somebody the other day about social media and businesses, and in fact I had a conversation with someone today about it as well, who doesn't use social media for businesses, and he really struggles because he doesn't want to use social media, and Dean hates social media. That's where I get crackbook from, is what Dean calls it, crackbook. So that's where crackbook comes from. I've said crackbook is Dean's word for, you know, crackbook. Fucking hates it. It's like EastEnders social world. But for social media, for me, I come from a different point of view, because I come from a social media marketing point of view. I'm an author at the end of the day. Okay, I burnt my last book, but, you know, I will finish and complete, and this book will come out. It's changed course slightly, because obviously I wasn't meant to lose my children. I was meant to fucking step up Britain. I was meant to get to the core of the problem. I just wasn't meant for the core of the problem to be personal. I just thought that I would go, hey, yes, this is what the biggest problem is in the UK. I didn't think that I was going to fall bang into the biggest problem in the UK. So I believe that Aaron and Faith are safe. My heart tells me this. Sometimes my head sort of goes, well, you don't know, girl, because you've never met these people. You don't know how they talk to them. You don't know how they communicate with them. You don't know what their morning things are. You know, can they just lay in the bed with them in the morning and just chill and cuddle in the same way? Do adopters have that same, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I've had the girls here tonight, and the girls have been quite happy, like, watching dance videos with me, you know, with their head on my shoulder and stuff like that, and they've been, you know, and I'm always like that with kids. Kids always sort of come to me, really. I tend to, like, even here, so even though there's been a lot of adults in this space, I've just literally more just sort of been like, hey, yeah, and I've gone on with my day. I talked to Tracy across at Adventure Park, because I was very upfront with Tracy at the beginning and said, I don't like these shitty crappy places. This is what I'm dealing with. I live there, blah, 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 blah. And also when me and Dean used to come in, you know, so Tracy's seen, obviously, me and Dean move in. So she saw us literally sort of like, you know, getting out of the car and taking our belongings in, and they've heard us, because the park is literally just, we were 10 floors up, but our window, sorry, my legs are in our window, and actually if I'm sitting, I'm one of these people anyway, so you just have to get used to it. I'm being more me, I suppose, as I'm coming more and more out of my shell. So, and yes, I went in my shell, so that's what's going on. Kelly is coming out of her shell again, so and coming more out of my shell than I was before, because I've had a whole roller coaster with my health, with having catheters, and whether or not I'm going to have a track put in, or whether or not this is going to have surgery, and, you know, back and forth, and tubes up my bum and tubes down my throat, and, you know, I hate hospitals. Like, I detest the place. This is why I hate this place. This place just, to me, just it doesn't, nothing about this place says home or homely. I haven't decorated this place. This was done because Dean has just never had a key to his front door, and you know, he's always wanted this black and gold music studio, and we were actually just going to turn this into a community room and leave. So our original plan was to just sort of come in here and do this project that we had in our minds of what we were going to do. So the stuff that's out in the hallway, I haven't really talked about. So even on my lives, you don't see all that stuff about me and Dean either, because obviously before I was pregnant with Elijah, you know, obviously I went out as the driver. He thinks I'm a shit getaway driver. They won't let me go out with them, do you know what I mean? Because apparently I would be really handy, you know, because I can drive a van and stuff like that in the car, but I need to practice at being a better getaway driver. And it is funny, come on, when you go out as a graph artist, it is funny because, like, I mean, Jesus, I've never told you the story about when I was, found out I was in labour with Elijah right at the beginning, because like it was meant we'd just literally done Dean's videos ready to prepare for Christmas Crisis, and we were just off to a festival and we were doing a sting on a piece, and I had 1 month left to go, and it was like no Elijah, I had weeks left to go, and Dean was meant to be away in Glasgow, and it was like, well, it's not just like Dean's got a motorbike and he can just zoom in and zoom out. You know, the man is train hopping. I've got so many fucking train tickets out there for Dean getting done for train hopping and not having a ticket that gets him all the way through. Seriously, I've bailiffs for it and everything. Yeah, you need buses as well. So to sort of get up to sort of like Newcastle, like takes him like 11, 12 hours on bus. So if I was to go up to Glasgow, it was going to take him something like 18 hours. So if all of a sudden I'd gone into labour, it wasn't funny. So we agreed that for the sort of the last month that I was going to go out with Dean. So Dean was going to keep carrying on because there was no point in like, you know, just sitting in this fucking 1-bedroom flat going to Rots. So we agreed that he was still going to do these festivals, but I was going to go with him, and we were going to his dad's as well, but he wasn't going to do further afield, so he wasn't going to go further away from, you know, maybe London at the most. So if I went into labour, we could get me back to Portsmouth really quickly. And obviously, because we were on CP, the difficulty is we could have just carried on travelling. We could have fucked off around the world, do you know what I mean? But because I was on CP and because the parental assessment was done by the person who knew us, I did not want to be in a situation like Dean was saying, oh, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. But also because of my high risk pregnancy. Now it's all good because you can carry your medical notes around with you and stuff like that. But I didn't want to be in a situation where I just flagged up on the system and all of a sudden I've got people coming in who don't know me, and you know, next minute I'm having to shoot someone because, you know, they've taken my baby from their crib and I'm having to hold a gun to their head to say, you don't touch my son. Like, if you don't listen to my gun, then listen to Dad's gun, because Dad won't even tell you he's going to do it. He will just go, boom, don't touch my kid, and you won't get to hear that message because you'd be on the floor. So, you know, that's the situation that I didn't want to be in. It's like, even to the health visitor the other day, I said to her, look, you know, you need to remember you've only come in recently. You weren't there at the beginning when I first decided, yes, I'm going to work with Portsmouth Social Services. I said, we could have gone to France, we could have gone, Dean could have hid me here in one of the squats, whatever, you know, anything. We could have kept our son off the grid, not had passports, all that sort of stuff, and, you know, no birth certificates, and we could have kept, you know, our boys 100% free roaming kids. But at some point the system would have come round us, or at some point we would have wanted to go on holiday. And then the other thing was the fact that if I'd gone and bolted to France, then I would have never have been in a situation to come back for, going back into court when I was ready and knew what to do, because it's not like I've got £150,000 in my pocket to go and pick the best solicitors and barristers, sit down with them for a few hours and talk about my case, and not even a few hours, fucking sitting in my house having fucking Chinese and everything, sitting ready to go in and smash this fucking case. To have that level is because you've got a family solicitor, and it's different. Rich people have their friends are their accountants, their friends are their solicitor. They don't switch 150,000. They just play the numbers between each other. It would be like me putting on a festival and paying Dean for coming. Do you know what I mean? So it's just that he would be my husband, so he would be the higher payer. He would have the better opportunity, but it would be the right person for the job, but he would still be paid just like everybody else, because it's a business. You don't mix business with pleasure. That's what they say. Where it comes with me, I do. I believe that business should be pleasure, and you should be doing what you love. You shouldn't be getting up at 7 in the morning or whatever and going out to be in an office at 9 o'clock to come home at 5:30 to go and do something you hate. You're spending like so many hours of your day and your life. That would be like marrying somebody you hate and having to spend your entire life married to somebody that you despise. Why would you do that? You marry somebody you love. And that's exactly the same in what you choose to do. Well, not even a choice, you were designed for it. It's just that, the DNA is within you. It's just that so many people have gone through parents' trials and traumas, and high school, and the bullying, and the what people think of you, and what the media portray, the perfect ideal woman. And so I actually said to a woman today, "Your Jesus, mate, your ass look amazing. What have you got under them?" And she did. She had this dress, she had this thing on that pulled a thing in, and I was like, "Whoa, that was great, amazing." So anyway, tangent. But anyway, let me just go back to Homestar. So anyway, I went into Homestar, and I did know there was a breastfeeding tent. It's just that I chose to go into Homestar. And I was starting to struggle, and the girls had gone off on the fair and stuff, and mums had given them some money to go off down the fair and things. So, and that helped me out actually, because that's how I sort of pay people for helping me out. I have the money, and I don't mind going and buying the kids lunch, because they've come out with me for the day, and getting all their bits with them, and sending them home to their parents with glitter in their hair, Facebooks and hennas and stuff, and blowing money that most parents can't afford to do. I like being in that situation. I like being able to do that. I like being able to say to my friends, like, well, what do you fancy, and not have to worry about whether or not I've got enough money in the bank to cover here a fucking 15 quid burger. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't like actually being in that situation where I have to think about, how much money I've got in my bank account and what bills I have to pay, because I don't deal with my accounts that way, and it's so difficult dealing with a normal bank account. Like, I don't know how people do it, like how people just deal with a bog standard basic bank account, because I don't have that sort of system. Like, I normally have a current account, or I've never gone with credit cards. I've never bothered with credit cards. I probably should do, because that's what it is. It's credit. You're crediting something. You're leveraging money. It's just that at school they don't teach you about how to monopolize money. Like the game of Monopoly and stuff like that. They don't teach you this stuff at school. They're starting to say now, because we are crossing over. We are crossing over here, especially in the Western world now. We are certainly moving to this technology era that is advanced, and it has advanced. There's some bad stuff, and people kick off about G5, and I get it, and I get why people have got such issues with it. But if we don't allow this development to happen, if we don't allow us to move to this next level, then we're going to get stuck, and we have to move to this next level. I mean, technology, creates so much. I mean, how many people here have ever actually been on a life machine? Because You know, if that technology keeps people alive, like, you know, people are on defibrillators, not defibrillators, defibrillators and all of that sort of technology. You know, at one point everybody had to, and now you can go, you know, and we can't have a go at the advancements of stuff. We can't have a go at things that are progressing. What we have to remember is with everything that is created, it can be used for good or bad. Take the festival, for example. I think they did really well today, this weekend. I have to say, hats off to Portsmouth Council. But someone did say to me, when they're paid, it comes through Victorious. So security are telling me that it is Portsmouth Council that run Victorious. The managers and everybody keeps pointing me back to, I won't say his name at the moment, but everyone keeps pointing me back to this one person who has a little record shop in the back of Asda, so Portsmouth people will know what I'm talking about. And everyone keeps pointing me back to this one man, but whenever I've spoken to him over the phone, he doesn't seem to be the right person. However, after this weekend, he does seem to be the right person. But the people who got paid, like the people who were yellow vests, so all the yellow vests, said that they were paid by Victorious. So when it goes into their bank, they're paid by a business called Victorious. So this is interesting, because what I would like to see is where this money is going, because I got told today this company, do you know how much this company had to pay to have their booth there? But they also brought the exclusivity to make sure that nobody on site could also be selling these. So they add them up for rental and buy, which I'm going to get in contact with Duracell, and I'm going to get some products from them and get these things sold, because I could certainly keep selling these online, and they're really, really easy for me to stock in a car and just put out on and sell them, motorways, shops, everything. And they're bloody brilliant as well, because they have 3 charges on each of them. I mean, you're lucky, like straight away. I mean, I'm gonna have to put it on, but and if I show you all of them that I've got, and I mean, I've got this tortoise one, but it's fucking big and it's bulky and it's a nightmare. I mean, I've said this and I've said it over and over again, and I will say it live saying it, because if it and when it happens, and I've been saying this for the last 5 years now, and I have actually contacted, well, I haven't fully, but I have actually sent iPhone and made some conversations about them doing it. And I'm, you know, I do need to push. So if anyone does run out there and get on and do it and not come back to source and at least give me 10%, as a lot of things happen with my ideas, I just want a solar panel on the back of my phone. It would, you know, it might make it a lot more fragile, and that's fine. But in the professional world that I need to be in, this can't be treated as a phone to me anymore. In fact, I don't really use it as a phone. I'd probably be better just getting some form of piece of equipment that I can take photographs on, do the quick edits, put them up on. I mean, I always prefer really with an iPad. I find an iPad a lot easier. Typing on here is a nightmare. When the iPad came out, for me, seriously, for somebody who struggles with typing and things like that, when the iPad came out, I was like, free, like seriously, for me, it was a wonderful thing, and MSM as well, to be able to sit at my home at 7:30, you know, once the kids were down in bed, and switch on my computer, as AOL used to go in, and, you know, putting Messenger on and being able to, you know, chat to some of the students at university and sort of say, like, you know, this question that we've been asked and you know, and to be able to do that sitting at home in the evening as a single mum, you know, was absolutely brilliant. To be able to, for my boys to go to bed and be able to go and sit in my office, because I did when I was raising the boys shared, and the third bedroom I had as an office. So I had a bedroom, the boys had a bedroom, and then we had a box bedroom, but their bedroom was a big bedroom, and they had the bunk bed and the cabin beds and stuff, and they were of an age to have them in a bedroom. They didn't need to have separate bedrooms. There was no need to give them separate bedrooms. So me working from home and having the office was perfect, you know, and it was only a small little box room with a big desk, and the desk was in there when we got there, so it was too big and bulky to take out. So and it made things so much easier, you know, just to be able to go in there at night time and be able to interact with people, because, you know, I don't think people understand how isolating and lonely it can be being a mum, and how much you can be out of your normal zone. You know, all mums must remember, and it's a really shit system, and people are shit because they make mums feel like they have to sacrifice themselves, and the Bible writes it in such a way that people interpret it that, you know, the mum is meant to be the doormat for the husband and the children and the home and everything, and that's not true. That's not real. And they try to convince us that, you know, if we think about us and who we are as people, well, then that's the work of the devil. Come on, they blamed the woman for eating the fucking apple. Where's my Adam's apple? A lot of shit being put in on the woman, a big war on the woman. It doesn't make me a feminist. I'll say it again. Where is my Adam's apple if the woman ate the apple? So, you know, and we've been punished according to these philosophies and teachings because we chose to sin. We, the woman, was the sinner. Yes, we ate this apple, and that's not true, because it's the man that has the Adam's apple, not the woman. So, how's he got the apple in his throat? Yet we women don't. So I believe that it's about time that it's not about having equality, because we're not equal. We will never be equal. It's just about accepting that when a couple have children, that they are both responsible for their children, to raise and nurture them in the ways that is right for them and their role. And that's really important to do. And I quite like, actually, that Dean doesn't talk to the boys every day. I didn't like it at the beginning, and it annoyed me at the beginning, because if he's annoyed with me and he blocks me, then it sort of stops him interacting with the boys as well. But I have to say, because obviously I'm coming from a point of view of somebody who's dealing with attachment disorders, and a lot of people won't understand it as well, that Dean will deal with you in a way that is very healing, but not in a way that you'll maybe understand. Like, I don't know, let's just say we both grew very much so in the last couple of weeks. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, prior to Kelly being wife and mother, I'm Kelly. And prior to my dad having a crush on Kelly LeBrook and Kelly from Charlie's Angels, which is why my name was given to me as Kelly. My mum would have called me Georgina if she'd had her way. I don't think I look like a George. I don't think I look like a Kelly either, but there you go. What do I look like? A fuckwit, probably? Who knows? But, like, there's me, this person. What a lot of people want to say, I am. I'm not into all this I am stuff. I am me. That's what I am. I am me. I am me, and with me comes many multifacets, many things that I love to do. But I think what the greatest thing about this weekend as well is I could certainly tell that the boys were 100% in their zone. Like, you know, little raver, Elijah, the little freaking loves dancing, loves it. And I don't mean like, hey, let's do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I mean, loves dancing, like literally. I wish I could have got a video of him today. And obviously, you will see little bits like that if you want to watch stuff like that, because you know, he's going to grow up, and I am actually going to create. I've been going through some of India's stuff today. It's Elijah and Shiloh's. Not today. Well, bloody hell, God. Fucking hell, months ago actually. Last time I had a look. Yeah, I should have a look, or try to have a look. But you know, I mean, she's what, the award winner for singing in 2000. I'm surprised actually I didn't see her on stage today, and chances are she might have been on stage today. Or certainly should be on stage here next year, 100%. I mean, Dean's daughter is a little wonder, absolute little wonder. You know, absolutely beautiful. She's a very, very famous child model. You know, she's an actress, singer, dancer, performer. You know, yeah, she's a lovely little girl, lovely little, beautiful little girl. This is her dad. You can tell it. You can see that spark's not in there. That little girl needs her dad. 100%. That girl needs her dad. And Rocco needs his dad. You can see it 100%. 100% they need their dad. And he needs them. Like, I mean, a lot of his struggles, he needs them. He needs his kids, and they need him. And he also needs to get to know his other kids as well. Like, I really, really do hope that as each Christmas comes around, and we're not a pagan family that celebrate Christmas in that way, but and Jesus wasn't born on Christmas Day as people teach and stuff. So, you know, I don't really get caught up in a lot of that sort of stuff. But for me, it's about ending the year, even though actually it's a 13-month year, but it's about ending the year and starting afresh, a whole new year. And I really like that. New Year's is my favourite time of year. I love New Year's. I love the celebration of New Year's. I love to celebrate anyway. I love to celebrate every day. I think we should celebrate everything. You know, if you have a milestone, and you should celebrate that milestone, you should stamp that celebration in. You know, me and my kids, we high five a lot. Yay, high fives. And we celebrate everything. You know, press a key on doodah, and you know, it's a celebration. Do this, and you know, it's a celebration. It's wonderful, and to watch Elijah, you know, in front of the DJ. We went into where our little water park is that we go to. Hey, Frederick. I'm always all right. To what's the word? Anyway, we're so many things. They sort of quarantined off this little area, and it was absolutely lovely because I did so much networking, like so much networking. But anyway, that aside, anyway, back to what I was saying about this home start thing, because it's really important, this side. There's a whole other side to it. I keep talking about our personal stuff, which is the music and the dance and the drama, but you guys want to hear about the social and the system, so that's what you can get. But like, I went and sat into the home start thing, and I said, look, I need to feed and settle, because it was getting to the point now where the challenges were starting to set in. I was getting 2 children that were clearly tired and, you know, needing to move on and getting hungry, and I'd packed stuff to take as well, so I had all the, you know, hoodies and jumpers and layers and stuff ready. If I'd had my own way, they would have been branded out in Step Up Britain, and you know, or their dad performing. But I can't wait. I can't wait for my first hoodie with Dean Samuel written on the back of it. Can't wait. Can't fucking wait. DS23 stamped on the back of me, or fucking Banksy or something. I don't give a flying fuck. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to stick it on. Crew t-shirt for DS23. And And I'll do that whether me and Dean ever make it as a married couple or not. You know, he's the father of my children, do you know what I mean? So, and if it didn't work out and he got married and stuff like that, you know, the woman would never be around my kids anyway until they were at that level. So, if I don't get on with them and around them, then they ain't around my kids. It's as simple as that. And that's the way it is. If you can't stand in front of the mother of the baby, of the children, and be civil and human with them, then why the fuck would I be anywhere near my children? It's as simple as that. And you know, I had that with Sam when me and James separated. You know, the woman picked up my kid in front of me, and I put her over in front of my car to touch my kid again, mate, and I slammed me through the glass. It's how I roll when it comes to my kids. You know, these people with Aaron and Faith are very, 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 very lucky. Very, 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 very lucky that Dean took me off Downing Street. Very lucky. Everybody very lucky Dean took me off Downing Street. Everybody very lucky. Yeah, few people very, very lucky, because it's very lucky that I've come in and I met Dean, and I've had the 2 babies and stuff, that I have to contain the chances of me going to prison, because obviously there's 2 babies. But yeah, I was 100% quite happy to sit my ass in a prison cell waiting for my children to turn up at my VO. Yeah, very happy to do so. Very happy to do so. But if it had worked out anyway, we would have been over in another country anyway. And you know, if I carry on going the way that I'm going anyway, it won't be long until these people can't touch me anyway, because I will be paying their wages. Simple as that. You know, people don't piss off the people who pay their wages, mate. That's the way the world works. So if you're paying people's wages, they do as you're told. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It's not the way that I think business should be working. You know, if people think that MPs run this world, MPs get paid 60,000 a year. My world is 6 figures. Who do you think run the world? Really? You know, and that's starting point. So, and then look at the likes of Epstein. He's a billionaire. So, if people should really, really start looking at how lifestyles work. Like I said, £100,000 for these to have the only space at Victoria's for weekend. £150,000. Sorry, £100,000. They had to pay. So if I worked out, so I'm actually going to be asking the Victorious to please allow me the opportunity to sit down with your business plan and your costings and everything, and down to the porta toilets. So actually, if I have any friends that run festivals and stuff like that, I've got to start putting all the structures and funding together for Step Up Britain, because Step Up Britain's coming in harder and faster and bigger than it's ever been. Next level, mate. We're going to the next level. Don't forget, we've got to go through October and then, no, sorry, September. So I'm going to be ready for the 11th of September. And I think what was so great about tonight as well is I've been in Portsmouth now for like 4 years. And when I first got here, I was very stand by Dean, stay behind Dean. Didn't really want to talk to people. Didn't want anyone to really see me. I hadn't quite come to terms with the fact that we'd come into this home, and not this one, but that one over there, and we were in this flat, and I kept just standing at the window saying to Dean, where am I? Where's my kids? Like, where's my life? And, you know, Dean had to deal with that. Like, literally used to leave me on the sofa, sometimes being sick, sometimes don't think I was pregnant, and he would have to literally just leave me and go out and try to keep his life going. And sometimes it just got too much for him as well when we first got over here, because I was so suicidal. Like, I was like, and I was pregnant as well. So he's going, come on, Kelly, you know, and it was because I was pregnant that kept me alive. Because don't forget, Aaron and Faith had only got adopted in the July. That was my final July, and the adoption happened. And I didn't know whether to turn up that July, because I'd been trying to stop the adoption of Aaron and Faith. And you know, I was learning things too late. Too late. People were coming in and going, you know, what about this? And it was like, damn, time frames, too late, out of the time pills, blah, 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 too late. That's why it's so important to me that when someone comes in who's just been hit with it, or just about to be told, that's when I want to get in. That's when I want to change it. That's when I want to make sure and go, boom, right. This is the system that you're now facing. This is the stuff that I wasn't told. You know, it was my ex-husband that said to me, right, Kelly, you can't keep going in there thinking they're going to give you the kids back today. My attitude was, you took them in 3 minutes, you give them back in 3 minutes. I was banging from each corner and everything. And actually I was doing the right things because I got my complaints in and I got my complaints upheld and all this sort of stuff. I was banging it, you know, and people were saying to me, can't complain against these people, Kelly. Why are you complaining? And I'm going, well, because they've taken my kids and this information isn't true and it's revolting and it's sick what they're doing. And, you know, I'm seeing my kids and the souls going out of my kids' eyes, and they're writing things like, my daughter's coming out of her shell. You know, what do you mean my daughter's coming out of her shell? She was never in her shell. You know, if you see the picture of my 2 children sitting on the swings, you know, that was Aaron and Faith probably the year before they were taken. You know, my children were not in their shells. You know, to my son hiding under, you know, the table at the foster parents, and they're trying to say that the abuse was so bad at home that he was hiding under chairs at the table. No, he was hiding under fucking tables at the foster parents because that fat fucking cunt of a bastard who was leaving fucking pubes in my son's night reading book. And apparently my daughter says that, you know, the snake don't touch the snake, do you, mum? No, you don't touch them. And this greasy fucking horrible fat bastard who sat in front of me at the hospital, who I seriously, do you know what he reminds me of? As I watched him get into his car, squeezing himself in, and I really do have a problem with fatness. I do, and this comes from somebody who's been fat. But this man, it wasn't about him being fat. It was about the fact that my children were 2 very healthy, very active, very vibrant, lovely children who were stuffed with 2 fucking marshmallows, who allowed for their own son to play the same fucking COD Xbox game that I was keeping my 3-year-old little boy off of, and they were allowing my son to play COD, as well as the fact that they were shoving them with custard cream biscuits, chicken nuggets and fucking chips and beans. Who the fuck gives their kids chicken nuggets and chips and beans every fucking day? Seriously? You feed my kids this shit? You feed my kids processed bollocks? Like, seriously? Do you want to do this? You know, Faith used to eat slices of avocado and cucumber and raisins and, you know, couscous, and all of a sudden my kids are being rammed with kicking cakes, and then I'm saying, because I'm saying that, but that's poison to my children. They don't have flour, they have spelt flour. Yeah, they don't have normal flour. They don't have these products. They don't eat these things. I don't give my kids fizzy pop Coke. Yeah, my kids don't go to fucking McDonald's and shitty fucking crappy places like that. All right, we might go to a festival. Well, actually, festivals, I make the food and I pack it. You know, we have a van. Well, should have a van. We don't at the moment, but in my normal life, you know, or the life that I should be living, but in my normal life as well, because I've always had the facilities of the people that I've been with as well. So, you know, we keep on top of that sort of stuff and things. And when you come to the Robinstons, and if anyone wants to come next year, you'll have to pay. I can't give you free tickets because it's not my field. It's not my company. If it was my company, I can choose whether or not I can give you discounts and cut prices and stuff. But because it's my job and I work for somebody, I can't. So I can let you know when the early birds are and tell you to get in on the early bird tickets. But you know, you're talking a lot of money. You're talking a lot of money. Look, even if you know, you're more than welcome to be in my coaching world and stuff like that. But you know, like, yeah, even if I even put any free coaching products out, I mean, I wouldn't go onto it because it's a breadcrumb thing. It's a breadcrumb learning, and it's something that I found very difficult to learn to invest in myself as well, because I went to a lot of all these free things and free seminars, and that's just the breadcrumbs, mate. They're just giving you the breadcrumbs. That's just the sales pitch. You know, it's an information knowledge game, but the challenge is, like, the 1% obviously have this knowledge, and the billionaires and the multimillionaires down to what are called the Fortune 500 people obviously pay a lot of money to stay in a very niche clique that this information is not shared, does not come out, is not given to the common people. Because don't forget, the Houses of Commons are paid £60,000 a year, but the Houses of Lords, yes, are in the six figures. So it will show you the balance straight away. I don't know how much they actually paid you as a lord to sit there, but I know you could become a lord if you make £1 million donation to government. So that's how easy it is to become a lord in this country. Donate £1 million, therefore, I am Lady Cotton. Well, Lady Samuel, but Lady Cotton immediately. Do you know what I mean? So, just by donating £1 million. But the majority of people, what you've got to remember is when you're at school, you were taught tens, units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and I think that was it. And hence why the majority of people feel that to be paid £1,000 a month is good. It's not good. It's not good. We can't live. If I said to you, Amber, what's £1,000 in your number? Or if I said to you, if I said to Amber, can you send me £1,000? Right? And Amber wrote down what £1,000. In fact, I'll get it. Amber, please write in comments how much £1,000 is in your country, and then ask yourself to try to deal with what the real number is that she's written down to 1,000. But don't forget, hers is in Tobago money, not in UK money. So it's the equivalent of 1,000 in her money. But if I had to walk into a shop in Trinidad and look at something and go, that's so, even in America, and look at it and go, that's so and so, so and so, like, that's a head fuck. Like, when I was trying to move from north to south, it was really, really, really hard for me, because I'd gone from like foster care into the hostel, into private rental, which was like a converted farmhouse, into like pretty much straight into army accommodation. And then I'd been in the army quarters up until I was like 24. So, and then obviously we bought our own home. But we bought our own home not down south. We bought our own home up north. So we spent £74,000 and bought our home. And it was a 3-bedroom linked detached home. And obviously, like Graham's moved in now to fucking acres and acres of land now, I think. So, and my son, my 19-year-old son, he what he says, probably about 40 horses down there, 40 horses where my son lives. So my son works every day, but it's not his farm. That's his girlfriend's, but they've been together since they were 13. So, and they're now 19. So, and they are both saving up. They both have agreed to save quite a considerable amount of money to put into their home and buy the home and to do all that stuff, and that's great and that's good. They know what they're doing. They've got their home in order. They've got their life in order. They know they're not dependent on a system. They are codependent on the system. They are 100%, structured and living in their lives, and I've done really well. And even Liam, in the next 2 years, Liam is going to be 100% independent. He's dependent at the moment because he's training and he's learning, and he's got people around him who is mentoring him and teaching him faster than him just going out there and fucking up people's hair until he gets it right. Do you know what I mean? He's nailed it. He's training with Lee something, which is the training's like really good as a hairdresser. So And the place that he's got his apprentice is not just a normal hairdressers. He's at the top Tony Woods hairdressers here. So as I also realise as well, when you have a public life, one of the difficulty things is people like to screw things up for you. So my family are very wise, and so are the people around us, by the way. So even my son's sort of community and the people around me now are starting to understand the trolling and the shilling that goes on around me. So they get that people like to contact them and say, like, well, you know, you don't really want to do this and you know. And I'm sure there were people who would really love to screw my son's life up, but we have firmly explained and made sure that they know. If you ever get a call, if you ever get anyone coming in trying to screw things up for Liam, it will be connected to me. So don't allow this to happen. They know this. And I know it's going to come in around the boys as well. So, you know, Dean's had it pretty much on and off all of his life. He's been ripped off by the BBC. He's had all of his graffiti artwork stolen by the galleries. And when that comes out, I mean, I think he's going to sue. I think he's going to sue the galleries. I think he is. I think this is what's going to be the big thing next year. I think he's going to finally remind people that his graffiti art was not for sale. The whole point to it was it's not for sale. But people have obviously, somebody created a t-shirt company that is not, in fact, if you'll notice, yeah, can't really talk much about all that sort of stuff, but yeah, I can't really talk about it. Dean needs to deal with it, with the crew, the way he needs to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just the crew, but obviously, you know, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You can't go and steal somebody's artwork off the side and go and fucking auction it. That's really shit. But at the end of the day, you know, until people make claims and say what's theirs and what's not theirs and what's theirs, and I've got to do the same. You know, I've got stuff out there that I've gone along and I've been involved and I'll do projects and then I'll just disappear and, you know, and I don't make claims on it and stuff, and I'll just get it going and get it set up. And I'm an interventionist, I'm a coach. It's like, you know, I've really, really loved being with the girls today. It's been hard, but it's been easy hard, because I know they're not faith, and I know I can't project, you know, they're not my daughters, and I can't steal other people's daughters for the daughter that I don't have around me. But they're 11, and, you know, Faith is not 11 yet. She will be, but she's not yet. But so by having that sort of age, and this is what I've had since I've been out here as well, because all the kids sort of come around me, and it's been so difficult, especially with girls that look like my daughter. Or I think, do you know what, I wonder if Faith, like what Faith looks like now, like, and I do it all the time as well, because obviously I still see my friends' kids who grew up with Aaron and Faith, and especially Keely. I look at Keely and I sort of go, like, do you know what, Keely, I can come here and sit with your nana, and you know who I am. I could be away for years, darling, and you know, you might need a little bit of a, and it's interesting to see it, like a bit of a prod, you know. But it's like her dad as well, you know. Her dad's not good there, he's died, as we know. You know, it was Daniel that, when my court case came around, it was Daniel that was found hung, and my friend Karen was all over the news, you know, not knowing where her son was, and I couldn't go to this funeral, and she couldn't get to my court case, and it was such a significant, poignant person in it all, because, you know, she'd been my carer, you know, and she'd known all of my children, and then, you know, all that, and that made it really difficult, because she couldn't stand. She'd written my letter for me. She'd written my letter, and then just literally she'd sent me a letter, and then Daniel went missing. And then next minute she's all over the news, we're like, where's Daniel? And then we're all holding our breath while I'm walking into fucking court. So, you know, I'm literally walking in court as I'm getting an announcement that he's been found hung, and he was my kid's babysitter, do you know what I mean? He babysat for Liam and Daniel, you know. you know, so there's all these other relationships, you know, you just see me as Lone Ranger Kelly, but, you know, I've got a lot of friends, mate, lots of friends, lots of friends, lots of friends, lots of friends, yeah, lots of friends, lots of good friends. And while I'm here in Portsmouth as well, it's funny because I think I'm starting to build familiarities with people, and certainly I'm greeted with hugs, and like even today, you know, I caught Mark, and I managed to sort of say to someone, quick, watch kids, because I obviously had the two girls with me anyway. But the two girls could get easily distracted, so I had to put more perimeters around the two girls. You can't just leave two 11-year-old kids to be responsible for two little toddlers, do you know what I mean? Like, that would be the most ridiculous thing for anyone to do. You didn't think I was going to go off and speak on the mic while, you know, my kids are with two 11-year-olds. That would just be stupid, you know. You know, when it does get to the stage that me and Dean have got the equipment and stuff that we need to take this to the level that it needs to be, we don't want sponsorship. We don't want to do it through sponsorship. And the reason that we don't know contracts and stuff, I mean, we're quite happy to have sponsorship. You know, in fact, we're quite happy to have sponsorship. Dean wants Adidas, mate. That's it. Simple as that. He wants Adidas. And he's quite happy to work with Adidas, so, or Adidas, whatever you call them. And yeah, you know, so we are quite happy to use sponsorship. I already know the people that have been, because Britax was sponsoring me at one point, which is why I had the free car seat that swiveled around, because I used to blog their stuff, and iPhone was at one point. So I like working on sponsorship. That's fine. It just gets complicated though, because people don't understand why you're still fundraising and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm building up to put a tent out there for Families Reunited and keeping families together. And you know, you're talking about this tent becoming the equivalent of the posters that you see for adoption and foster care. And I haven't had a chance to do it yet. So, but even today, so, you know, and I do want to talk about this stuff because, and the reason that I do this and I talk is because when I put this all into my book, I'll be able to go through all the transcribes of everything that I was thinking and what I was processing and stuff as I was going along the way. So where's my photographs? So straight away, again, like I was saying, I was at the Home Start. So for those people who don't know what Home Start is an organisation that supports families like me. They used to be like gingerbread and stuff for single parents, but Home Start was coming in for new mums, people, just to give them a bit of an extra hand. But I went in the tent today and I said to them, is there any chance while I'm feeding Elijah, which is my 3-year-old, and settling him and getting him to sleep, that is there anybody in here that if Shiloh leaves the tent is able to grab him so I don't have to unsettle Elijah if he's fallen asleep? She said they're not allowed to do that. She said they're not actually allowed to interact with kids at all. And I was like, well, this is you. She said it's the breastfeeding tent just across the way. So I went over to the breastfeeding tent where they had water and juices and nice stuff. And I was talking about natural feeding and my issues and taking from the breast and what's going on with social services and all this sort of stuff. And it was quite interesting because I got to speak to some very big people, very influential people in the breastfeeding networks who run all of them. I was talking about why I want it. Because don't forget, I run naturally feeding page, not that it gets ran the way that it should do, because I don't have any systems in place and all my pages are meant to run a co-symbiotic each day at the same time frames. But it's just me and Amber, and if you saw the photograph of Amber's computer the other day, I think you will understand why Amber isn't able to get things going to the level that it could be. And even I remember seeing a computer like that once. Don't forget, she's over in Trinidad, honey. And so yeah. Now the good thing is that the girls had come back by that time, so it was actually perfect timing that you know, they were playing and sitting down doing some drawing with Shiloh. And as it was, Elijah then got his second wind because the music came off in the Baby Bops thing, and that was it. It was right in the front of the bubbles, and the stream was coming down, and the thing was floating down. And then he realised that there was a proper raving tent, which was of all ages, little family thing, and that was it. That was bang straight up on it. But yeah, he was making this little Lego thing, and I literally just sort of said to the guy, like, and I'd seen Mark, and then straight away, you know. But Mark was one of the first interactions that Dean made. So when I deal with men around here, the men that now seem to be sort of watching out and still around are all the connections that Dean made when he got here. So because he was really going for it when we first got here, like he was willing to, you know, we were putting graffiti work up, we were getting stuff out there, we were getting, you know, there's a lot of people now are slightly starting to recognise some of the stuff out there that they're starting to recognise in here, because obviously we didn't think we would still be here. But you know, his artwork kept getting covered up, taken down. There was a bit of a battle going on, and because they were hammering us with social services and what was going on here and how they were treating us, and then they gave us the verbatim on the day that we were being told that Elijah was coming home, and that just rocked it again, and you know, it was all a bit crazy. But you know, it was really nice because, you know, I managed to find a proper t-shirt person today, you know, who does the, I don't know what you call it, where you put the stencils. So, you know, Dean's wanting to actually now himself put his own artwork on his t-shirts and buy them. And I think people are going to sort of think, why is he doing this? That's really sad. But when they actually do realise and go back in history and realise that Dean's thumbprinted everything he's ever done since he was a kid. That's how he did it. That's what he did. He put his thumbprint on it. And it will be easy to find that one day. So can't let too much cats out of the bag, can I? But yeah, I am meant to be a little bit more discreet on what's behind me and stuff. But you know, like the woman said when we met the woman who produced Right Said Fred, she said to Dean, she went, she is your promoter. You need to get it, accept it. She's your promoter. She's not your manager. She's your promoter. She does all your promotion work. You know, so I like promoting things because, you know, aside of all of the stories and what people say, and you know, DJ shag this one and that one, and you know, you'll never find a DJ who's not getting a blowjob down the back of the DJ mix, and you know, actors don't bloody, you know, they have to fuck everybody and all this sort of stuff. You know, I'm not in a relationship with a 9-to-5 person. Do you know what I mean? I'm not in a relationship with somebody who gets up and goes and does building work on a Friday to Monday to Friday. You know, I'm in a relationship with somebody who will be at a festival for 2 fucking weeks, smacking it out on the freaking doodah, getting everyone boom, boom, boom. He just doesn't have his equipment. But I've never seen him at his full speed. But I have been so lucky to live with him in a car, because we used to have to entertain each other and spend many nights finding somewhere to park up, and then finding each ways of, you know, entertaining. So we used to put the car lights on, and Dean used to do all his popping and stuff, and you know, I used to be able to watch him slightly in the shadows, and then obviously straight away he's let me go out graphing with him, and you know, staying up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And I was saying about that earlier on when I was pregnant, when I was in labour with Elijah, that like literally, you know, we waited until, like, I would have loved to have done this. We would literally be going and doing it now. Probably we'd be going and smashing it now for the end of Victorious. And I probably should have gone and done it for him, really. I should have gone and put something out, you know, or at the beginning of it or the end of it. So, but it tends to be the end of it. So just the message. So yeah, got to be strategic, haven't you? So, but yeah, like we went and hit this wall at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then went and slept in the car that night. And when we woke up in the morning, I'm going, and he's sort of looking at me, and it's like, yeah, fine, we're off to his dad's. Gritted teeth, and I'm sitting down on a chair, and everyone's saying, "Are you all right?" Okay, yeah, you know, just slightly niggling, and I'm trying to be every polite, and everything's all good, and I'm fine because I'm not wanting Dean to worry, and I'm so used to having false labors with EDS, and I'm not wanting to stress anybody out. And then things like, oh, do you want to go and walk up this hill and stuff like that? And his mum's like, yay, oh, lovely place. Oh yeah, make sure you go up to this place. Oh, it's lovely. And we do, and we get up there, and all of a sudden it's getting toe creeping, and all of a sudden, next thing I'll just go, I'll go Dean, I'm in labour. So that was the story to back then that I forgot to finish. So yeah, we had that absolute mad dash to get back to Portsmouth. My son born under a shooting star, so what can you ask for? That was the sign. Do we go to Guildford or do we go back to Portsmouth? And as soon as we saw that shooting star, we went, let's go back to the movies. We'll get there. Let's go back to Portsmouth. So yeah, so it's been interesting. But again, festivals, the thing that is annoying me, and this is what I was getting the photographs out before I sign off, because you know, some people do end up staying and listening, and some people don't. But I've got a load of photographs I haven't got up yet, but obviously it got my back up immediately when I saw this. This is the tent for Adopt South, so I'll be putting it up later. So for Adopt South, and then look, my little mini raver, and then that one was, could you become a foster carer? So straight away, me being me, I'll take the photograph, do the thing, go and have the conversation. I've got the girls around, so it's a bit easier. And you know, the same conversations. You know, we've got adoption, we've got fostering. Where's the families, keeping families together tent? Well, obviously it's waiting for me. So it's about time we go out there and done it. So I co-own Families Reunited UK with one of my social media marketing friends, and one of the women and her husband, who was, you know, offered to the court to take me and the boys in. So they were happy for me and the boys to go and live with them at their house. They're a massive big house and bedroom stuff. So, you know, they were quite happy to do that. Don't forget, the judge ignored every letter that come through. So, in fact, the judge actually ordered that no emails could be sent to the courts because of the amount of people that started emailing everybody. So, oh, relax. I'm gonna post some. I don't post all my pictures, by the way. You seem to think I do. Oh, my boobs look like they're out in that. Oh, my boob is out. Oh no, my boobs popped out the top, not properly, but oh dear. Picture of my boobs. Seriously, it's doing my nutting having breastfeeding. Seriously, it's been so nice spending the day with the girls today, and also to their parents, because you know they know my story. I'm cleared by social anyway, so I'm not a child abuser. I've never abused a child, and actually, kids love me, animals love me, people love me. It's just, I think I actually did share it today. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. The Lord's protecting it. So it's just a picture of me and one of the girls today, and I think I did actually share it out. And that's what faith would be like with me at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's just been so healing, so healing. I mean, what people need to remember as well, you don't need to remember anything, but you know, if you're remembering my journey or trying to pick pieces out of it or say this has happened or that's happened or whatever, but like, you know, I haven't even been to see my nieces. So, you know, since Aaron and Faith were taken, I didn't have anything to do with children. I couldn't even go into town. You know, you know, like, I mean, this is where I really needed my mum and my dad to really understand what was going on and what trauma I was going through. And I think my mum should be able to maybe understand a bit more, because obviously, you know, I was taken and she's had to deal with, you know, picking me up every other weekend and being that one. So, you know, I think my mum should understand a bit more. She's not maternal like me though. She's never claimed to be maternal. Um, but yeah, like, I mean, Asda, I used to fucking hate going into Asda. It's been so difficult to get me in Asda. In fact, even this Asda, I still don't go upstairs into the clothes and stuff, or near the toy area in Asda. I don't go anywhere near it. And I really hate going near where the books and stuff are in Asda as well, because even the fact that I'm getting used to Elijah getting the magazines as well is really difficult, because my kids have always got a magazine on Friday or stuff. And you know, magazines has always been quite a big part, because, you know, we're going on a road trip, so we get magazines and all this sort of stuff, and all the stuff that we get ready to get. You know, my kids have always had their own little, you know, bags and things. And, you know, my mum said I'll never be the matching suitcase set person. I can't wait until I get all my proper travel stuff. But I can't wait. I can't wait. I know it's going to happen, because someone like me is never going to sort of stop. You know, if it wasn't for these fucking oops upside the heads that keep coming in, and, you know, all these different things that keep trying to drag me back down, and things, or distractions that come in, you know, but success is not this straight line. You don't just go, oh, I've had an idea, I'm going to step up Britain. And all of a sudden, tomorrow morning, Britain has been stepped up. Wow, fantastic. Whole new standards been created for Great Britain. It was all done overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. Come on, be with it. You know, no person, like the guy that said to me today, him and his wife who run this printing company, you know, he said it's me and my wife and 2 kids. And, you know, we're having to get kids taking flyers out and stuff to help out, and my wife going out with the buggy and things, and, you know, to build this business. And, you know, it's not like, you know, even Richard Branson's company, you know, he didn't have his islands and his bloody board staff and things when he first started. In fact, Richard Branson started in a fucking phone box. Him and his mate had, you know, went and printed out business cards, and started off down at the markets, at Portobello markets and that. And they used to use the red phone box on their business cards, and quickly pop in and make their calls in the phone box, and try to, you know, get it before the pips ran out, and making sure they had enough change, and making sure they were there just in case somebody, you know, rang the phone box. Yeah, you know, they started pretending they were this big company, faking it until they make it. But, you know, they were 2 lads, you know, running this record label out the back of a thing. And the first one they did with his aunties, which was Bar Bar Black Sheep. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, interesting, really. You know, when you study people who, you know, walked a million miles and stuff, and how they've got there. I mean, this was the thing about when I first ever went to one of the NACs, and I went, well, this is why I created my Facebook in the first place. This is why when I wrote my 5-year business plan, because you have to write a progression of where you want to be in 5 years, and you stabilize. And if you don't have a solid mission statement, you'll just be like this, and you'll never ever hit target. You know, that's like trying to get somebody wanting to achieve a hole in one, and going and getting pissed and going, whoosh, you know, you're never going to achieve it. You know, you've got to get yourself positioned, focused, work on your posture, train, do you know what I mean? Work on your mindset. You know, you can't go up there with a golf club and go, I'm going to miss. Oh, no, you've got to go up there, you've got a line, you're going, that cunt's going in, mate. That's it, it's going in that hole. You know, and if you miss, and then you ball the bing ball back, and you go, next one is going to be a hole in one, and you keep going until you can get that hole in one. Everybody wants that hole in one, because that hole in one is the payout. You play a game because it's fun. It's like boxing, isn't it? You can go for the one knockout, or you can play a few rounds with people. So yeah, this year, let's hope all of you have your I'm Stepping Up for Britain packs. Your kids will have at school as well. So all your kids will be coming home with what their idea is for how they're going to make Great Britain great. They're going to make nice little pictures, and they're going to come up with nice little ideas, and what their service is to the world, and what they're going to do that can make the difference in one person, or as we say, each time, each teach one, each teach 100 even. So the men in my life have been amazing teachers, amazing teachers. I'm so grateful for every man who's ever been in my life. Um, and I mean, as in a relationship, though, you know, every man who's entered my life in terms for, you know, being in partnership or collaborating with me. I mean, Jason, hats off to the man. Jason dropped his entire life to do Walk for Justice. He even gave his job up. You know, when I was in London, and I got to London and I was staying at Belinda's, and I rang Jason and said, like, uh, the help's not here. Sabine's like, nobody's helping me write this. But I don't know what to do. And he realised, like, shit, this girl does not know what to do. She's lost her kids, and she's asking people, and everybody's looking at her as if she's this competent, like, person who knows what she's doing. And actually, I don't think people were understanding. I was screaming at everybody, what the fuck am I doing? My kids are going, how do I get them back? You know, and I'm going home for Christmas, that's it. My kids, nobody. Don't tell me my kids are not coming home. Everybody kept going, oh, you never get kids back. And it's like, why are you having these conversations with me? Why are you talking to me about my kids not coming home? Like, why do I want to think that my kids are not coming home? You know, that's exactly the same as EDS. You know, why do I want to think that my life expectancy is going to run out at 35? You know, what I want to live to that. Okay, I prepared for it. I bridged the gap, but, you know, and I'm 41 now. So why would I want to focus on being disabled? Why would I want to allow people around me, like, already, I put out a post earlier on that, and this stuff like this used to affect me. It doesn't affect me anymore. It hurts me for them, but you don't pay me to coach you. So, and it's my job, and I love my job, and I do it for free, and I don't mind doing it for free, but I do it for people that the Lord tells me to do it for. If He tells me that person needs coaching, then they will get it, and they will be blessed, and they will probably never know where it came from. But yeah, that's when I do it, and it never gets talked about, and it's not for anybody to share or know. But there is a girl here that I can't wait to see her get a pair of ice skates, because I believe 100% this girl is an ice skater, and if we can convince her mum to get her ice skating to the level of her training ice skating, then I believe we could have an Olympic ice skater here, 100%, like professional figure skater. And I believe that's why she's come into my life. And that's what I do. I take people to their greatness. It's just that I was achieving my greatness. I was in my full swing. I was close to my big payday. I was leveraging and doing things that people didn't understand. My mum never went through my bank account. She never asked me anything. I've never taken a penny off my mum until this situation. And even then, only my sister's plates and cups and stuff, and went for an Indian where she paid, and she gave me some money to get, you know, face balloon and stuff for her birthday to send off for the thing. She wouldn't come out, but she gave me the money to go and get it and do it. So, but prior to that, you know, my stepfather gave me 35 quid for petrol money from Northern Ireland to Guildford, where my sister was set alight by fireworks. And by the time we got back to Northern Ireland and Graham had been paid, I gave it back to him immediately. So, you know, I'm certainly not somebody with a trust fund. I'm certainly not somebody with parents that my stepmom did actually save up to make sure that when I turned 21, I was meant to get this money, but it never happened. My mum messed it up when my mum and dad separated, not my stepmom, but my mum. And exactly the same as well. When I was a kid, I had a NatWest Bank and a post office account, and I saved every week. Every week I saved, knowing full well that I was buying my way out of Headley Down. I knew day one that the only way I was getting out of, you know, living in council. My dad had bought our council house, but, you know, to get across the road into them houses that I really loved, the Victorian houses across the way. And I was pricing them houses up from a very young age as well, you know. when my mum was driving around, I was looking at houses and stuff. And my mum used to take me out to look at all the big houses as well. In fact, we used to go window shopping, as in, like, if it was up for sale, we used to go and have a look. And I used to do that with my kids as well. You know, I used to take them around big 3 million, 4 million pound houses to go and view them and things, and get in the feel of you know, how easy it was going to be to run, and, you know, could I manage it and stuff like that, and how my kitchen needed to be to make sure, you know, even if I ended up in a wheelchair, you know, and I knew I wanted the little island in the middle, and I knew I wanted my stuff to a certain level, and the cooker and stuff, and to make sure that I stay independent for as long as I can and don't ever have to become dependent on anybody. I always will have necessarily a need of bridging gaps, but I'm starting to explain to people more about it as well, because initially, until it went out in the papers, nobody knew I was on DLA, nobody knew I had EDS, and nobody knew I was an SP, and nobody knew I was dyslexic, and nobody knew that for, like, since I was 11 years old, that I had battled with depression and suicide and been under mental health, like, pretty much on and off all my life. And nobody knew this, hence why I took my degree in psychology, hence why I went into coaching, hence why I went into trainer stuff, hence why I chose to coach and heal people through sexual abuse trauma and domestic violence and all that sort of stuff. I'm amazing with drug and alcohol rehabilitation. In fact, if you want to stop drinking and stuff like that, you know, you don't even need to go to those shitty things with me. I've been able to sort it in 24 hours, less than that. Spend 3 days with me. You won't be on that path anymore. So, oh, there's an email that's come up. Did you watch that video yet? In fact, actually, yes, David, I have been. I don't think David's up now because our relationship's coming to a different level. But yes, I have actually watched David's videos. I do believe that they were outside the prison of Tommy's, which is brilliant, and hats off and well done to them guys sitting up there outside the prison, up in the hills on their megaphone, shouting down to the prison. Just please, 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 please do remember that if you do any demos at prisons, that they do cause riots. And that is the first threat that I first ever do whenever I attend a prison. I always make sure I speak to the governor. I always make sure that I give the governor 45-minute intervals. And I also always make sure that I tell them that if you push me to the level that I need to go to, then we will go full swing. You know, you're talking full-scale riot inside your prison once I start. The difficulty with that is knives are in there, opportunities are taken. I know the insides of prisons from a different point of view. I've never been in prison myself. I've been in police cells, but I've never been in prison myself. I do feel it will be part of my life. In fact, Elijah asked me the other day, am I going to prison? So I have a feeling it might be part of my journey. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll get done for fucking fraud or something because I've got shit accountants and I'm starting to do something. I don't freaking know. Maybe I end up murdering somebody. Who knows? Do you know why I say some of this stuff as well? Because I'm trying to prove to your world that you can't get done for possible future crimes. I can't get done, Lisa Bartle, even if I said on here that, no, I think there's a difference. If you say, it's a discussion, PC, policeman, now we're having this conversation, because the moment I mention Lisa Bartle and my feelings towards her, she has this sent to the police as a threat to kill. I could actually physically send an actual threat to kill, and I cannot go to prison for murder. Now, if I killed her, then I go to prison for murder. But we can take children off of families for something that hasn't happened, but potentially, possibly future might happen, because a parent turned around and said, nah, I'll end up smashing the Xbox or killing the kids. That's why I speak the way that I do, because these bastards took my kids off me for that one sentence. and for me saying no bruises, not yet. So that's why I say things the way that I do. That's why I'm very vocal in my language and the way that I do things. Look, I know I'm coming through this. I know I'm coming through this harder, faster, stronger than I have ever been. I know that when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be stronger than I was today. I know that when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to have more knowledge than I had today. I know when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to learn something new that I didn't know today that's going to take me even closer to my goal. I will step up Britain. I will set a new standard here in Britain. I will be involved, even if it is through other people going in there with the information. The Lord is watching everything, every move. If any person steps in a meeting and says, hey, should we do this? Because they've been listening to a live and going off, and they don't want to sit there and go, right, I was actually chatting with Kelly the other day, and I think she's got a really great idea on this thing, and I think we should really run with it. They're the people that I work with, because I do the same to them too. I never take anybody's credit. Ever. Ever do I ever take anybody's credit. If you put the work in, if you've done it, then you get the credit. That's it. As simple as that. I don't do the graphics. And you know this. Amber does the graphics. Amber changes my timelines over. Amber puts the posts up. If it says admin, it's because it's from Amber. That's not me doing it. I'm here live now. That's about as much time as I spend on Crackbook. Now, I use Marketplace on Crackbook. I don't ever go in and check. Occasionally, I will go on my other page and scroll through the feeds and go share, 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 share. I don't ever comment. And the reason that I don't comment is I don't have time for all day my page going beep, 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 because I've got 2 kids in there. And you people do not get time over them. Or Aaron Fig. Or Liam and Daniel. Simple as that. It will always be that way. This is my office. This is my workspace. This is my mixing business with pleasure. This is my vlog for the evening. This is my late night, end of the day vlogs. Don't forget my social media as me, Kelly, not me, Kelly Campaigner, but me, Kelly, is about sunrise, sunset, and memories in the middle. That's what my photography is about. That is what my art is about. That is what my creativity is about. That is what my Instagram and all that sort of stuff was meant to be about. That was what I was building up to. Step Up Britain is my events, is my coaching. It was a concept. It was a message. It was we the people of Britain have to take back our heart, minds and souls. We the people of Great Britain have to take back our personal responsibility. We the people of Great Britain have to take back. It's not about control. This is not about control. We have to be the leaders of our own lives. You know, we've got so into following people. Follow, you know, like seriously. Like if you try following me, you might end up in a cubicle bloody toilet or freaking sitting and watching, you know, Step Up for how many days? I've had this same film on for how many days? Yes, like it will go over and over and over. There's another 2 that go in there for the boys and break stuff, but they know what I'm doing. They know why I've got this film on. They know what Mum is processing and what Mum is working on. You know, most people don't get up and think about how somebody works, how somebody processes, how, you know, we go to school and people will say, oh, well, they're a, you know, sort of kinetic style, they're somatic and they're this and they're that, you know, and they'll understand that way. But, you know, husbands and wives, people who can sustain 30, 40, 50 years, you know, they know each other inside out. They know what triggers each other, what traumatizes each other, you know. To deal with me right at the beginning when me and Dean met, I mean, the difference is Dean was also going through exactly the same time as me. Mine was a forced adoption and he was a parent alienation and no denied contact. It didn't go through the courts. It was always threats of police. And, you know, we all know where that goes. Fathers in court that don't get custody, blah, blah, blah. I've always said to Dean he needs to go to court. But what annoys me about Dean, just like the lad that I met this weekend, and my own son, is they believe that they've got to get to a level before they can show their faces to people. And I find that really sad, because if when Aaron and Faith either turn up at my door, or we cross the paths, or it's done through the police and the courts, however it happens. But when that day happens, I'd be gutted if my kids have waited until they're married and have a home and a car and the kids, because they want to be able to turn up as the full package of, you know, their husband or wife. I'm talking about being a boy and a girl. I'm not into all this gender fluid and gay and stuff. I'm sorry. It is mental health. It will always be mental health. That's where it stays. Doesn't mean I have any issue with anybody. I've batted, I've done it, I've followed the journey. I've been the woman snogging girls in clubs. I've been the woman who's done threesomes. I know it. There's nothing you can't teach me or tell me about walking them journeys. Been there, done it, got the fucking t-shirt. The only thing I need to really learn is my language. But profanity is for a reason at the moment, because here lays the line and the language in the UK. You know, should language be acceptable for children? Simple as that. You know, are they bad words? Are they dirty words? Who says they're dirty words? Maybe they're just an expression. Maybe we've just been so suppressed and told that actually we can't turn around and say, oh, fuck it. Nothing wrong with saying fuck it. I like fuck it. I like pleb. I like monkey nuts. And, you know, what did we come up with the other day? A few other things. We're trying to come up with things that just slightly just turn around and say that person is an absolute fucking cunt. Doesn't mean we don't love them. Just think that their behaviour was absolutely fucking rude and damn right. And my word, don't be a cunt. Or maybe we shouldn't have these words. Now, we, the people of Britain, have an opportunity arising very, very, very soon. It's now the 20th. What? That cannot be right. Holy fuck, guys. And I have no Word document. 1, 2, hence why I've put this whole week for paperwork. However, this straightness didn't end up getting us straight. However, it's bank holiday tomorrow, and the girls are off school, and they have actually said they're going to give me a hand this week. And to any people in Portsmouth, I really, really need help this week. Like, this is the be-all and end-all. These next week, so too. In fact, I've got a meeting next Monday to put all my disability. They hand me a disabled badge for my car. Go fucking ballistic, mate. I want an enabled badge. I want a green enabled badge. I do not want a blue fucking disabled badge. But anyway, we've got 26 now. Well, coming into the early hours of it. So if you're on a live with me now, let's hope that you're going to be upright and all going to bed and getting ready for it tomorrow if you haven't done it already. And literally, so we've got tomorrow, as in Monday, today. We'll wake up. It's Monday now, really, but it's 3. I'm actually meant to get up at 5:30 every morning, by the way, guys. That's when I get up, 5:30, 5:15, 5:30. But obviously I'm a mum, so I work at night now. So if anyone goes, oh, she's up at 3 o'clock in the morning, try saying that to somebody who's married to a DJ. Yeah, she's up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, she's married to a DJ. Some people's life schedules are different to other people. Sometimes children don't go to bed at 10:30. Sorry, 9:30, 8:30, 7:30. Like, seriously, why would I want to put my kids to bed at 7:30? Yes, as long as they get enough sleep. Yes. Sometimes people catnap. Sometimes people like to just have a snooze. Some people sleep for different hours. Sometimes people's bodies are different because we are different. Our biological makeup is different. We are individual people. Our characters are different. We're slightly character flawed, that is fine. But the fact is, we are different. I am different from Amber. Did you know Amber is black and I am white? That is different. Anne Marie and her girlfriend, and we are different. And Christians. And Frederick is a man, actually, unless it might actually, yes, it is a man, and we are different. And everybody else who is here, we are all different. We cannot have one written rule in this country that we all have to live and abide by. Yes, there are guidelines. Yes, there are commandments. And yes, no, we shouldn't be going and killing people. We shouldn't need to kill people. And yes, we should love thy neighbour. It doesn't mean that we have to like them and get on with them. But we can still love them with an open heart and bless them in their bitter, twisted pains. And no, my neighbours are not bitter and twisted. In fact, I have lovely neighbours. Well, I don't have lovely neighbours, but I'm getting to know my neighbours. And my neighbours are getting to know me. And obviously, you're getting me on Crackbook. They hear me rant through the day. And yes, when the drilling goes on, sometimes I'm okay about it. But after the third or fourth time about this drilling, I can turn into a banshee and I can start ranting. And also, if this house is not kept in complete ship state, because I still deal with the fact that I could get a knock on my door, um, I can turn into a banshee. After all, I am a narc. Um, but on the 26th, oh, I crack myself up. At least I can amuse myself, hey. But anyway, it's the 26th. It's Monday the 26th. This Friday, I am at a party. I will be at a party from 1 o'clock until 5. I am hoping at this party I am going to be with the mayor and everybody else. Is my open invite to the mayor's ball. I'm looking forward to buying a dress and shoes, hopefully gifted, because I can't really put that amount of money in ball gowns and cocktail dresses and shoes at the moment. But who knows? Something beautiful will happen, I know. But so on Friday, I will be literally at 1 o'clock, starting with all the cutting ribbon and stuff of all the family support services, which I have nothing to do with, by the way. I don't own them, they're not my companies, not my businesses. I have absolutely nothing to do with them. I'm not even a client of them. I just happen to be appreciating what's going on around me right now. So anyway, guys, if I can get it up, there must be a knack of the way of doing it so you can see this. No. 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th as of Friday at 4 o'clock on Friday. They will shut down the email system to the inquiry into children's social care by the Department of Education, and it will cease. I am hoping this week to get an extension and ask that it be put out into the media for people to come forward so we can, one, measure how many people have responded now. It'd be interesting to see how many of those are from my network or our network, but this is my network. So if it's all come from that, or if a few people obviously know because obviously the Department of Health, whether or not they've sent out emails to people who are in the education department, I don't know. I know that, what's her face? the guys from Legal Action Women, they're emailing it out, also with the domestic violence inquiry as well. So all of that sort of stuff. But this week, I'm hoping to also trump a letter within this to say that I feel that it's inadequate to set a inquiry at a time when Parliament are not here, and also don't forget Parliament are going to be non-seated. I don't know when it is and what's coming up, but they're going to have a hung Parliament by the looks of it. I only saw a couple of things in the papers. I haven't had a chance to check up and catch up on stuff. And obviously Amber isn't me, she doesn't think like me, she doesn't come from my point of view, she doesn't know what it is that I'm doing, she hasn't been through the training and education and understanding, and she's doing her best to keep my social media going the way that I need to be, but she's trying to create an image of me when she has her own reflection of who I am and not coming from an internal understanding of who I am. She doesn't know my passions, she doesn't know the visions that go off in my head and what I'm imagining and what I'm seeing and what I feel and stuff like that. So, it's very difficult for anyone to try to, really know a person. So my point being that having a conversation with a doctor for 5 minutes and meeting a social worker that could potentially then change over to a different social worker, along with their line manager and their area manager and the support workers and the case workers and the students that flit in and the health visitors and the midwives and all of these people, how they can make a decision about us that is so draconian that warrants for our children to be away from us for what they class as life, to live with that mourning and that grieving for your whole life until one day is not right, it's not good. If they want to know why we've got such a problem with homelessness, the reason that we have such a problem with homelessness is because of broken families. That's why we have a problem with homelessness. We don't have a problem with homelessness because people don't have homes. We have a problem with homelessness because people don't know how to keep their homes in order, and also because, like, the majority of the people that I see out there are people who've broken down from divorce, and the wife gets everything, the girlfriend partner, she gets it. Where does he go? If he's got a mum, fine, he goes back to his mum's, but what happens if he hasn't got a mum or a dad? What if his brother can't take him on the sofa? What if his best mate and his missus aren't turning around and saying, don't worry about it, fella, you can stay at ours for as long as you like and stuff. Not everybody has that option. And what if, they're having to go to work every day to be able to keep the roof and the food on the table for their ex-partner, and they're still partners, got children together, for fuck's sake. If you're not mature enough to understand that point of view, then you're not mature enough to have a child in the first place. So, if you don't understand that or grasp that concept that children need both parents, and I hear it from single mothers all the time. I raise my children by myself and they don't need their father. Yes, they do. Yes, I'm sorry, single mothers who think you can raise your children by yourself. You are lying to yourself, you are softening it, and you are giving yourself a way of dealing with the fact that you have abandonment issues, and you need to deal with the fact that you've been left, or kick the father out, or cause for the father to not be able to tolerate you, to the point that if he sees his child, he has to deal with you, and it's to the point that he has to walk away from this kid because the thought of knocking on the door and dealing with and they just think, you know what, I left her because of this. And now I've got to come to this door and I've got to deal with this woman time and time and time again. And now I've got to deal with a fuckwit of a fella around my kid, calling my kid dad. My kid's calling him dad. She's been with him 3 freaking days and he's calling my son dad. My son's calling him dad. They're not even married and my son's calling them dad. Yeah, these women, pick up the phone, ring the father of your child and say, whatever your issue is with me, we both want our kids to be the full version of themselves. And we got some issues between us, but it shouldn't be affecting the kids. And even if contact is done via school, like in dropping them off at school, or picking them up from school, or whatever, there has to be a way for us, as in, to work through making sure that our kids develop and thrive to be in the full potential of themselves. And the only way that they can be that is to be in the environment of the people that created them. And that means to be in the environment of the sperm and the egg. Because the egg can only do so much, and the sperm can only do so much. But together they can create a baby and bring life into the world. Hence why being a lesbian and gay is not natural, honey. Because unless you can create a baby naturally, you're not natural. So if you've got to artificially inseminate it in, then it is not given by the Lord now, is it? No. So the penis enters the vagina. That's the way it was designed. If you have an issue with the penis, it's because you were probably forced to give your father a blowjob, or somebody raped you, or somebody assaulted you, and you decided. And I'd actually be interested in doing a study actually on how many people in the gay community have suffered that sort of stuff. Doesn't make gay, by the way, but yes, your issues with the penis is not the issues you think it is. And no, just because the man wants you to suck it, actually, it wasn't designed to be sucked, darlings. That just come from debauchery and fellatio and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, my whole point to this is people are making decisions on people's lives. Even people who have been following me for the time that they've been following me, and the conversations, you have to get off and you have to get on with your real life and go and deal with other people. You've seen me with Elijah and Shiloh. You don't see everything that goes on. You didn't see us rolling down the hills today and, everything that's been going on and bopping and my kids dancing with me. You didn't see all that sort of stuff. You didn't see me having to sit down and, out with somebody to help and stuff. So, you didn't see getting all the photography and moving stuff around and appreciating that we've been here like for 2 weeks prior to this event, and seeing friends of mine down at the, all the people that are at the fireside are the people pretty much that have been going and doing the artwork and the things and putting all the things behind all of this, who are the people that do the homeless kitchens and stuff, and we all come together and we have a little chill out. I'd like to do that on a Sunday really, and start doing my own. I'd love to start having my own little world, but with me, I just don't have the consistency at the moment, because I just can't tell you next Monday am I going to be here in Portsmouth, because when this all comes together, that's it. That's it. As soon as passport arrives, as soon as things start coming in, all of a sudden, you're going to see me at the airport soon. So, but I don't think I'm going to be leaving until after Brexit. I want to be making sure that when the borders go down, that I'm on this side here in Great Britain, because it's all well and good to say, hey, abandon Britain, but at the end of the day, I've got people here with private jets if it comes to it, and helicopters. If I've got to get off this island, I can get off this island. That isn't a problem. And if it comes to a point that once the borders go down, and if it does come to the point where there is going to be quite a militant internal war, then I'm going to be on the right side of people anyway, where I will be with people that can take the ships, move the boats, do that stuff, where the Queen is not ordering it, and actually the police are with us because the war is going on. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit different when you've got, you're not, look, all you've got to remember is who is the war between and what are they fighting over. Yeah. So anyway, my favourite bit of Step Up Son. I just wish me and Dean were like this all the time. That's what I thought me and him were about. I'm the ballet and he's the hip hop street dancer. But actually I'm a street dancer as well, so. Both of us though, we're both natural. We don't do all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have done all that stuff, but I don't go very well to it. But this is how I like spending my day. That's what I want to be up doing. I would love to be going, right, come on, Dean, victorious next year. Let's put on a fucking performance and let's make sure we raise that £1 million for, well, actually, I want to raise more, actually. I want to really make sure we can get keeping families, staying and properly, because there's a few people out there doing stuff, but the marketing to get, oh, seriously, my ankle's doing my head, listen. And see it, watch the album. So I'm let you watch it. My feet are filthy. My feet are absolutely fucking filthy. I've been at a festival all weekend on and off and that. So, there you go. The state of my jeans. You'll forget I'm an EDSer, don't you? Hello. The things and shit. Well, hello, Kelly Cotton on there. And now do dancing. And no, Kelly isn't an alcoholic and drug dependent, so no, I am absolutely stone cold sober right now. I'm just a little bit tired, that's about it. I'm literally just getting my ankles wet. But yeah, wouldn't it be cool? I know Nick now. I know a lot of the people involved in it. Managed to sit with a lot of the managers and the artists over the time frame and have a few chats and things. So I've learned a lot more. I'm not a master of it. I'm a jack of all trades, master of few. But now I need to become the official key person in these fields. I need the Department of Education to be ringing me and going, that book you wrote, like, we need you to come in as a consultant and we need you here and this is your fee and stuff like that. And that's the position I need to be putting myself in now, that that they are bringing me in and consulting with me and getting my ideas and feedback to my leg going. That was my leg all the way through. It's literally just circling. I don't know. Seriously, try living with it. It's nuts. But in order for me to say, if I was going to do this performance, then I have to train to a level that if I grabbed hold of my foot here now, I have to be able to go sort of like that and put my leg out. And if you know the EDS side, well, I don't have that, because you can see the way my knee goes in. It doesn't do that. And if you have a look at the woman that I posted out, and the only reason I mention this is because people have a go at me about being on roller skates and EDS and dancing on roller skates and stuff, and it's like, she can't really have this condition and she's faking it and all this sort of shit. I've had it my whole life, mate. This is why my life is so difficult. This is why I talk about the awareness of EDS, because I guarantee you now, if you met somebody who said they were like being a bit wobbly or something, go, oh, I know another woman like that, you should have a look in that. And maybe we can get people diagnosed quicker to make sure that they don't end up fucked up like me. And give them a better chance and make sure kids like Elijah and Aaron and Faith and stuff do get to fulfill their destiny, do get to be with people that they need to be, and do have the support networks around them. And everybody, not just people with conditions that have a little bit more of a challenge, but we can't do things alone. Look, it wasn't government, but Agenda 21 was to get us under control, and they wanted to do that in such a way that they could have this utopia country. And in order to do that, they had to have control of you. Now, the only way to have control of you is to alienate you. It's like domestic violence. Yes, narcissistic abuse. It's like in real domestic abuse and stuff. But when it comes from insecurities and trust issues. So when you look at the bigger picture rather than the effects and trauma, the whole point was to divide and alienate everybody. It was to have everybody, not working as teams, not to be in co-symbioticness with each other, to not, like, look at Burning Man. You know, there's no money exchanged at Burning Man. Everybody has to come together at Burning Man Festival and make sure that it's done through trade and not trading. I won't go into the mythology behind it because I've never actually been to Burning Man, so it's on my bucket list. So anyway, yeah, my whole point is that these services that exist can't get to know us in the way that they manage their system. It's them and us, and it shouldn't be. They should be having a relationship with us in the community. Like, I mean, I walked past one of the Roberts Centre women. I made the decision to not wave at her and interact with her because, you know, she was being herself. She was there as her, the Portsmouth girl. She wasn't there as Roberts Centre, you know, support worker. And, you know, it would have been nice to have been, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. Oh, aren't the boys great? Aren't they lovely? But me, I then think, oh, is she then going back into work tomorrow and going, oh, I saw Kelly at the festival, and did you know she had the two girls? Well, I know one of the mums, you know, and this month, and then it's like, you know what, Kelly, you know, she does pick these things, she takes these strays in and all this sort of stuff. You know, and I just couldn't be asked with it, so I didn't know. But at the end of the day, we should be living in co-symbiotic with these as a community. It shouldn't be this systematic fanatics versus real life, you know. And we have to all put our input into how this system has affected us, and let them know. Tell them what damage they've done to us. And they've done a lot of damage to me. I'm a very damaged person, and if anyone wants to turn around and go, well, she's a very damaged person, and what if I sit here and go, oh, it's not my fault? Oh, she never takes personal responsibility, does she? She always blames everybody. No, my kids were kidnapped. No, I did not phone social services. It was a referral, yes. It was an indicative budget that was moving from Leyland to Flintshire, yes. No different than living in Leyland. I hadn't changed. Nothing in my life had changed. I hadn't all of a sudden gone from being a lovely, nice community person to all of a sudden being a child abuser. It was their fuck up, not mine. Or was Save the Family, did asking the questions that I asked took me right into the lines then. Because you have to be very, very careful what you pray for, what you ask for. Because it can be given to you in ways that you don't see. And before I go, take this morning. I don't know if you noticed this morning that my timeline, I actually changed it over, Amber changed on this, but it's not one that she's made, it's just one that I Googled. And I changed my timeline to Surrounded by Love. And then today I'll get a knock on the door to offer me the help to get me to the event. Yes, I've ended up helping her. She's out tonight. She knows me back. Do you know what I mean? She knows I'm down here with the girls now. So the girls are not down here. They're up at theirs with their sister. But, you know, she knows full well that there is somebody else now in this block of flats who's theirs for her kids. So, you know, she's a single mum up there with, you know, with her two girls. And, you know, tonight she decided she could let her hair down for a bit. Enjoy, so be it. All right, she didn't get back to give her kids a takeaway, but I fed them. It's fine. It's not a problem. No problem. And tomorrow, if they want to come round and give me a hand like they do and put these dance routines in, it's not a problem. The thing that people need to remember with me is Dean's my best friend, and that's it. You know, Dean will always be my only best friend. And my kids are my best friends. Elijah tells me every day I'm his best friend. I can be in people's lives and out of people's lives, and I'm around people. And I believe that we are all brothers and sisters in Christ. That means then we're all very ancestral if we're all brothers and sisters, because that means that Dean's my brother. But we are all comrades. We are all people on a mission. We are all people who live here in Great Britain and on this planet. And I do hope and do believe that the people here want to put the great back in Britain, want Britain to be great, want to walk down the street and see people happy and smiling and living lives. And, you know, the sins will always exist. Greed and envy and jealousy and stuff will always, you know, exist. But I think if we can become masters of ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, if we can get to know ourselves, if we can love ourselves, then we've got a really great chance of the world being a better place, because then we're not going to have this old dirty cat fucking me chabby, you know. Actually, my brother's like that, and he's the most sweetest lad ever. But you know, we do need to think about being the best versions of ourselves. We do need to think about what more can we do, like what more is in us, what could we be doing that we've never tried before, that might just be out at us. The moment I saw that girl today do this kickback, I said, you're an ice skater. You can tell straight away you're an ice skater. When you watch the fidgetiness in kids when they're really young, you can, like today, Shiloh started uh, his kickstart. He's going to start with this football club. They start from 18 months, so he's going to start, and apparently there's one up here. They were there today. And he shot the 3 goals in. You know, this man stood there thinking, oh yeah, I got a 1-year-old in front of me shooting a football, and all of a sudden my son pounded him straight past him. He stood there and went, said, I actually let for the little ones. He said, but I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, put you straight down on the ball, boof. Straight. The only thing you've got to watch is, I've got a feeling he's going to be a goalkeeper, because he drop kicks. I don't know, drop kicking is more maybe an American football thing. So we'll see. I'll try. I don't know everything that's out there. I can only do my best. I can't look for the most intimate little thing that goes, yeah, I can tell what that is. But don't forget, I'm a coach, and I come from a pre-performance routine. So, you know, the people that I've always worked with have always been youth going into football, or I'm the one at the end of the youth that's dealing with the youth as they were going into, you know, bringing the best out of them, basically, and helping them find that true self of theirs that sometimes have got a bit crushed under, you know, some dogmatic world. And that's what we all need to do, really. So yeah, this weekend's been a really great weekend. It's going to be a very interesting week now. I haven't ended my week with my house as straight as I need to. However, I don't have the stuff outside. It's annoyed me because I've had the car freaking cleaned, and they did me a really good deal on getting it done as well. I only paid 15 quid for them to hoover and clean my car out. But it doesn't look like it anymore, because there's been crisps in it, and we've had the festival, and I haven't managed to take the photographs and get it up for sale. But hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to have a bit of help tomorrow to maybe get on with stuff. But I really enjoy the company as well. It's really nice, because I don't have much company, do you know what I mean? Like, as in proper company. It was really nice having Liam here, really, but it didn't become, you know, normal because of the stuff that went on between Liam and Dean, and, you know, the whole dynamics of everything, and me being ratty over not being able to chill like here. Like Liam would be on my sofa, do you know what I mean, asleep, and I'd be sitting in the kitchen, and then waking up in the morning trying to get on with stuff and things. And I'm an early riser, so and the Shiloh is certainly an early riser. Elijah's a little bit slower, but Shiloh is a up at a crack of dawn and on it, and he's well on it as soon as he gets up. You'll know if he's not ready to have been woken up, because he'll tell you. But when he's up, he's up, and he's on it. So anyway, Monday morning. It's meant to be Monday morning motivation, but it is bank holiday. It is bank holiday tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, I do believe it's bank holiday. So anyway, I need to have a look and see what's on for bank holiday tomorrow. And obviously, my main reason is because I'm the networker, I'm the talker. I can achieve more attending a mayor's ball than I could achieve in Parliament, do you know what I mean? Or sitting here talking to people on live. Because don't forget as well, my lives get sent off to United Nations as well, people. So don't forget that. Like, don't forget my video is on the United Nations website. So if you go onto United Nations website, it's there on the thing where my video and talking about when I was given my orders and stuff is on the United Nations website. So I wouldn't be surprised if I got a bullet to my head. I am actually, just because Facebook isn't showing you likes and views and, and you're not going on there and going, whoa, she's got like 29 million thousand subscribers and stuff. I talk to the right people at the right places at the right time. Even with today, with the adoption agency and fostering and, all that sort of stuff. And hey, guess who I got to talk to today as well? Who's that one that does all the potato stuff and the kids' TV thing and stuff? He was entertaining the kids today. So, and I'll see him again next year. So I'm going to work on this with him, I think. Yeah, and don't forget as well, I do know people who write scripts for EastEnders and Emmerdale and all that sort of stuff. And a very, very, very good friend of mine is Kay Parcell. And if you have a look, you will see she lives in Leyland. Known Kay for years. She's in Emmerdale. She's in a lot of stuff. In fact, my stepdaughter will probably come across her soon. So, but she was adopted. So she was adopted by a white family. And Tracy Beaker and stuff. She was in Tracy Beaker for a long time. So all of them are all trying to do stuff as well. So there's loads of people. There's every person. Like even today, I had a conversation with someone about it that would have never have done something in this area. And you want to heard the ideas she's been coming out with on how she can make a difference to people that are struggling the way I am today. And and I really hope she does. I hope. I'm not here to own things. I can't take it with me. When I die, I can't take it with me. I'm here to leave my legacy for my family and my kids. I'm here to make sure that, I just want my children to say, that's my mum. I don't ever want my kids to go, I don't really get on with my mum. I don't have a relationship with my mum. I think that could be one of the worst things that ever. I don't want Aaron and Faith to be the ones that go, well, I did meet my mum, but she couldn't cope with the emotion of it, and it was too much, and I had my life and everything, and which is what I hear from a lot of kids that go and find their mums and dads and stuff. And I don't want that to be the case with Aaron and Faith. I want Aaron and Faith to be able to go, we met our mum and she was everything that we thought that she was going to be, and I'm so glad to be home and in my mum's arms, and now they understand what that yearning and that longing was to be in their mum's arms. I can't talk from their dad's point of view, but from my point of view, even the girls today just rested on me or interacting around me, and it's a bit strange because it's other people's kids and stuff like that, but when I'm up and about, I should always have my 23-year-old, my 19-year-old, my 10-year-old, my 9-year-old, my 3 or my 1-year-old. My family should be ever growing, and if I go to a festival, I sort of expect us all to be there, and enjoy it as a family anyway. And especially in my line of work, because I'm quite lucky, like when I'm in the pubs and the clubs and stuff like that, because I don't necessarily not have a door I can't go through, because I don't work top middle. I work top middle and bottom, so I tend to talk to the CEOs just as much as I talk to the managers, just as much as I talk to people down or even the cleaners, because I'm understanding this from a mass point of view, because we can't just completely shift this positioning without understanding the ripples of it all. You know, you can't throw a stone in the water and just think that the stone penetrates where the stone falls. You know, it causes ripples, it causes an effect. There is a cause and effect in everything. And I'm very aware of watching this cause and effect, and I'm teasing it and tethering it and watering it and planting seeds and going, oh, hang on a minute, we're waning in this area right now, we need to bring this back and stuff like that. So, you know, and one day maybe people will realise that I knew what I was talking about because I understand it personally as well. You know, I'm not just somebody who's. Someone said to me once, though, you don't have to be dead to be a great mortician, and that's true. You don't have to understand death, but you do. You're not dead, but you do. You know, I have thought of going and taking a job in the morgue, by the way, helping people with their grief, just while I make some money and get us out of this situation. But the Lord at the moment is telling me that I have to wait upon the Lord. He has an amazing blessing in this. He has an amazing amazing beautifulness in all of this. It's like even over my door there, I'm looking at it. It's mine and Dean's plaque, and it says, "We may not have it all together, but together we have it all." And yeah, we know that. It's like Zoella as well. I had a look at Dean's Twitter earlier on, because don't forget, I'll manage everything from inside. And yeah, so Zoella has gone on and followed his Twitter after some woman posting out Dean's Twitter the other day. And it makes me laugh. You know, these rats are sitting there talking about Dean, yeah, like his fucking best friend, and how silly that they need to sit there and chat on PM with him and all this sort of stuff. He plays you, mate. Fucking plays you. He's not a silly bastard. He's a very clever man. Very, very clever man. He likes to show me who people really are as well. And I'll do the same to him sometimes as well. I'll say, I'll show you whether you can trust that man in business, and I'll prove it to you. I'll prove you can't trust him. Yeah, we'll do that for each other. We got each other's backs all the time. And Dean always knows as well, with the shits, the fan out there. This is always here for him, even if our relationship. You know, I've always said we've got kids together, but I'm an advocate for marriage, and sex out of marriage is just not an option. You can keep pulling that we got the 2 kids together, but you know, put a ring on it, mate, or I'll move on. It's as simple as that. I'm here to. I stand on my own, and I'll do it my own, or you stand with me as full partnership. I'm black and white like that. You're in or you're out. It's as simple as that. But I get this journey because it's different from where we came from. But like next year, yeah, 2020, mate. It's 2020. I've worked for this year. I've worked for 2020 for a very long time. 2020. I was really looking forward to that 2020. And I think it would be really great. I'm thinking 20. So it's going to have to be the 20th day of something. So the 20th, there's no 20 months, so it's going to have to be probably the 2nd month. So the 20th of February, maybe. 20th of February 2020. That'd be really lovely to get married 20th of February 2020. And do you know why it would be really lovely? And that would be because rather than having to deal with the grief of Aaron's birthday, well, going through Christmas, and then going straight into Christmas to hit in like Aaron's birthday and Liam's birthday, who's here now, so that's not a problem. So Liam's birthday would be really good. He'd probably be out with his mates, but I will see him for his birthday. And yeah, just planning and sorting the wedding. That'd be lovely. Yeah, so I quite like the sound of that. 2020. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Until we're booking and booking stuff, but who knows? You know, I know people who've gone ahead with weddings, and all of a sudden the fucking church is burnt down, for fuck's sake. If you never noticed the disaster that happens around weddings, the Lord don't want marriage, mate. The Lord wants everybody fucking the same gender. Not like the devil does, mate. freaking, yeah, the devil doesn't want family, mate. The devil doesn't want us working in co-symbioticness and creation and life and bringing life in the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way. You know, the devil wants fucked up kids and confusion and, you know, creating complete and utter confusion, and he wants us on the wrong path, and he's happy to do that to us, and it's up to us to say no more. And yeah, people can turn around and say, well, I don't believe in God and I don't believe in Jesus. But if you notice, they say, I don't believe in the devil either. Well, it's all in here. It isn't an out there thing. It's not a God and a Jesus and a devil. It's all in here. It's all in here. You just got to understand your vibration. Um, do you want to vibrate and resonate in hell, or do you want to vibrate in heaven? Because as it is on earth, as it is in heaven. So, you know, I would say 100% that this world is in the clutches of the negative spaces, devil, won't call it that, negative, evil, the evil, devil. Funny that her name that she chooses is Zoella Devell. Zoella Devell. If you really think I'm going to believe you with a name like that, says everything. It says woman to come in and freaking try to destroy a relationship. And if you frick it, even if, yeah, you know, you'd probably have to drug the man to have got him to fucking fuck you. I've seen you on live, mate. You're all over fucking internet saying about the cure for hepatitis fucking C. And hey, might be a fool or whatever, but yeah, no, my intuition tells me dodgy as fuck, mate. Dodgy as fuck. The fact that I've got a woman coming who's a forced adoption with all of the issues and traumas that she has, and then you've got a woman like me coming out telling them that, you know, there's a chance that the story that they've been told their whole life might not be real. Of course they're going to project on me. Why would they not? I knew this. The papers said on day one, yeah, by putting her head above a parapet, she will be despised by many. I knew this. I knew this on the 20th. Was it the 20th? Yeah, 20th. I knew this on the 20th of October. Well, no, so we would have been going back to the 17th and 19th when it was all being written. But I knew this then, when that editor wrote that in that paper, and his exact words were, by putting, and it wasn't my words, it was his. So this is how the editors do, media do it, by the way. He wrote that, it wasn't in my words. And I will say, by the way, editors of papers write as if people have said it when they haven't, because it sounds better. So anyway, I did not say, but the editor of the Daily Mail, not of the Daily Mail, of the Chorley Guardian, who was actually the editor of the Daily Mail, which was Chris. So Chris, not Chris Booker, Chris. Oh, by the way, just a quick thing. I rang in to check on Christopher Booker the other day. Has anybody ever wondered where Christopher Booker's gone? We need to do some research, guys. Where's Christopher Booker gone? Do some research. Amber, where has Christopher Booker gone? We need to find Christopher Booker. He seems to have disappeared. Guardian sacked him. Gone. No longer works for Guardian. So we need to find Christopher Booker and find out what's going on. Whether he's even alive. So I need to know, where's Christopher Booker? When was the last time Christopher Booker wrote an article? Yeah, anyway, talking to myself now. So, yeah, been a really good weekend. Not the sort of weekend that I would have liked, but it's given me a teaser and taste into, you know, whether or not I'm going to be able to cope. I mean, I've always done festivals and carnivals, but I've always gone with friends and stuff, and I've always struggled. I've always had this problem, which is why I've always been building to having an au pair and this team around me. So it's just that I've always had to do it through social. And then all of a sudden it's gone to the level that it has with social, and you know, when they're writing in their court paperwork that I've been known to the services, it's like, yeah, and doesn't that show that I work with you? What, you think every time you come in it's because, I don't know, what? And isn't it bad that we live in a times now where to work with social services is seen as such a bad thing? Like I said, Rose petals, the angels should be coming. So please go tell the chair people this week, all of us, let's all get on board, all push forward. We've got days. Yeah, Amber, I have been telling you, countdown, you're not doing it. You're not understanding the significance and importance of this right here, right now, at this time of Brexit, at this time of this rewrite of this whole care system, of the restructure. It is fucking urgent that you are all funneled in. The importance, they are not promoting it. It is not getting out there. They are not coming on your doors and saying, hey, we're doing an inquiry into children's social care. I'm here banging it out, telling you it's there. Please go back onto their site. Have a look at it. They are not going to send it to you. It's not going to be emailed out to the general public that, hey, this inquiry is going on. It is not going to be finding its way into your PM box. I am dragging the horse to the fucking water, and I'm doing my best to fucking hold you in it and keep going right up until the fucking day that they then say it is closed. And then after that, I'm going to sit at that reading and I will know every single one that put it in, because I will see the results. I won't see who you were or what your case was, but I will see the numbers, the stats. I will see. I will know. I will know whether I've completely and utterly wasted my time. And whether you have as well. Because if you don't do this, you don't want your kids back. Simple as that. And if you don't want your kids back, you're wasting my time. And on that note, I will see you tomorrow. And this week, it is all about your paperwork. It's not necessarily about your paperwork per se to write this. You can write this off the cuff of your head. You can answer it. But your paperwork is really important, because class action is coming up very, 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 very soon. And when that barrister pulls in and says this needs to be in and this needs to be in, they won't wait on deadlines. They will go to court without you. Simple as that. And unless you can do it yourself, and unless you can file yourself, write yourself, speak for yourself in court, then I suggest you become part of the team rather than standing by yourself. And what you've got to remember is, if one person is out there carrying the banner, holding it for the team, and then somebody else goes and does it, we're all part of the same team. And I hope to God we're all on the same side, because we're all wanting this, a better system and a better platform for all of our youth. And yes, we want our justice, but that doesn't mean that we want to murder and destroy these people. It just means that we want the best relationship that we can have with our kids from this point, with the damage done, and as much support and as much help as possible to heal as families together, be it counselling and therapies to repair the damage that they've caused. But for them to accept that they've caused damage, they have to accept this. We're dealing with human beings, as corrupt as some people are. We're not dealing with some big, well, we are dealing with some big spiritual world monster, but, you know, we're not dealing with something that we can't beat. You know, this can be beaten, and we are beating it. And I'm feeling pretty victorious right now. I'm very humble. I feel very humble. I feel very grateful. I felt a little bit of ego coming in earlier on. It's like, oh, okay, let's sort it out. We don't want to be puffing our chests, you know. It's just a normal day out. I don't want smug. Yeah, but today I have certainly felt surrounded by love, and it's been beautiful and lovely. And I hope to God for all of you this week that you can feel surrounded by love. So wake up in the morning and just wake up and just think, I'm so loved. I'm really loved. I'm so loved. I'm so loved by people. Like, and I love people. And it, just keep telling yourself that I love people and they love me. And I feel so loved. And I'm so loved by people. You don't necessarily have a relationship with but the people that I have a relationship with, you know I'm loved and they love me. And love is a very, very difficult thing, because we're sort of taught that we say I love you to our partners, and we overuse it, and it's I love you, I love you, I love you. But what you're really listening for is for them to say, yeah, I love you. You're not actually saying I love you, you're saying, do you love me? So, you know, and we say I love you to our kids, and some people have relationships with their families that they can say I love you to, but we don't really talk about other love. We don't really talk about just love for each other, because at the end of the day, what is God? God is love. The devil is hate. That's what you're up against, the yin and yang, love and hate. It's that easy. So we can hate. We can hate the social worker whose father's probably just died, and her husband's got cerebral palsy, and her child is autistic, and she has to get up and go to work and pay her bills and put her children into care while her husband goes off to work, or and she's doing a job. There's a real person behind there, and so's the police officer, who's giving his wife a kiss, and his wife is laying in bed knowing her husband is going out to work with the potential of being shot. She has to watch her husband as a police officer every morning put up his body armour, knowing full well that he has a job that means he might not come home today. Same with the firefighter. Same with the hospital people. It's not the people that are the problem. It's the process. It's the protocol. And this week we've got a massive big opportunity to change this, and not only change it, but make them realise the damage that we've been causing this whole time. Because unless after you use their services you fill out their questionnaire, they're never going to know. And statistics isn't going to show them either. So if it's to be, it's up to me. And I'm writing mine this week. So let's hope you are. And the reason that I'm putting mine in so late is because, one, I still don't have word. I've had trouble writing, but I'm going to be focusing these evenings, so there might not be any lives this week, guys. I don't know. You might have a week off lives, because I'm going to have to use the time for my lives for my writing. So, or what I might do is write and live. That would be really cool. So maybe I could do that this week. Maybe I could get the laptop in front of me, and the live will be on, but I won't really be interacting with you. I'll just be sitting and live writing my doodah thing. So yeah, maybe that's what I'll do this week. So anyway, guys, whatever you've been doing, whatever week that you've had, whatever was your high, whatever was your low last week, is gone. You can't get it back. It's a whole new week ahead, and we're nearly into a new month. And we're just heading into them last few weeks now of, tents going up for sale, for discount, the end of the holiday season, back to work, back to school for everybody. And I'm hoping that I will be a fully fledged director at Step Up Britain with all my paperwork back in order by the 7th of September. I don't know. It might be even slower than that. I might even be looking at next year. I don't know. But everything that I'm doing is working forward to bringing it all in line. But I think Victorious is going to be something quite big in my life. I have a feeling that I have a role with Victorious from this forward. So early bird tickets are out as from today, by the way. So you can pick up your early bird tickets for Victorious. And maybe next year you'd like to actually come along and enjoy and have fun and come down and have a picnic at the park. And it's not a protest. It's just have fun, enjoy, come dancing. So next year in Portsmouth will be Victorious. I will also be in Birmingham next year for the UPW, Unleash the Power Within. So if you want to join me walking across hot coals, then you can do. But unfortunately, these are not my companies. They are not my things. You can't get friends discount with me. It's a job. It's paid. I get paid a wage or a commission. And they set the charges, they set the price, and that's just the way the world is right now. So I would say that 40 quid a day, but I don't think it is 40 quid. I think Saturday was 45, I think it was. I don't know. I didn't pay, so I'm not 100% sure. So I'll have to have a look at the prices, but I think it's something like 150 for the whole weekend and camping. You camp on the Friday and the Saturday. And then by Sunday it's all done and dusted and closed down and stuff like that. But yeah, like even if you want to book a hotel and come down here and just fit in and out, because you can go back and forth once you've got all your stuff on and things. So yeah, so maybe, who knows, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But the good thing about early birds and booking it and planning things is you can put some major preparation ahead and make sure things actually happen rather than winging it. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, guys, I've done 2 hours and 35 minutes of talking tonight. But like I've said, these are here for me. So when I sit there and I write my book out, I can sit there and go, on Thursday or Saturday, I attended this event, and that's my video log for after and how I was thinking about it and stuff like that. So this is sort of why they're here, really. And if you can take little bits from it and you listen to it and go, well, do you know what, actually, I think she's right about this, or I don't necessarily agree with what she's saying about this, because it might agree in principle and theory, but within my life and from my point of view, then that wouldn't necessarily work. And I get that, and that's fine. But the truth is the truth, and you can't change it. So, you know, children have a right to be everything that they are. And the education system is abusing that right to look after our children now. And we, the parents, have to make it work. And if we want to have our children with us day in, day out, and even maybe just put them in school for a couple of days or a couple of months or whatever, I get there's a curriculum, but I can teach my children that curriculum in a much better, funner way. The only time that I would say that we really need of it was once it comes to university. Once people really know what they're doing, what they're homing on, what they're pushing down on, that's then when it matters. So if someone wants to be a doctor, then yeah, too fucking right. You go to 5 years school to be a doctor, mate. And on hospital and ward and stuff. That's when it matters. That's, and I would never deny that from my kids. I would never deny them the education on that level. That's not. I'm not here to say that my kids are cave kids and stuff. I'm hoping we're going to get this skateboard picker up. We're going to be with Elijah and Shiloh daily, you know, working on them progressing and getting better. Fussy head's just moved in. Oh. I'm going to go and get him later. Came and cut their hair the other day. But Elijah didn't get his done. Shiloh got his done. He's starting to look like Boris again. So anyway, catch you all later. Boris Johnson, hopefully we're going to do very well this week. Yes, because it's back to work soon. Or are we going to have another Prime Minister running? Who knows? Anything can happen between now and the next couple of weeks. But if we don't get involved, we don't engage, and we don't influence it in some way, you can't whinge about the way the country's going. So anyway, I'll speak to you all soon. I'm feeling really great right now. It's amazing. I love it. And feeling very positive. But who knows? Tomorrow I might wake up. I might have been triggered off. I might be feeling very sad. I might be depressed. But I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe help coming my way tomorrow. So I'll see you later. Bye.